What's going on, everybody? It's your boy PTK Blam back in the building with another episode of the Shop Podcast. How are all you beautiful people doing? Shout out to everybody hanging out with us in chat as of right now. Once again, we are back this week. The Shop Podcast 348, as you guys can see, we got family at the crib, man. We just coming off of 4th of July, so you know we still cooking through the weekend. You know, we got Mav hanging out with us. We appreciate him coming through, but I'll get into the pleasantries in a minute. But shout out to everybody coming through live, man. You guys, really showed out last week, man. First show back, but we coming through. Got a lot of shit to cover this week, man. It's been a big week. We've been playing a lot of games. We didn't even really get a chance to get into all of that pregame stuff. So, you know, we primed and ready to talk to you guys. But let me get into this guest, man. Shout out to you, man, for coming through, man. You came through this week, man. My brother, my cousin, the FSP family here, man. We share a lot of counterparts as well, co-hosts, things like that, bro. How you been, man?
I am good, dude. Had a really good, chill 4th of July weekend.
Good.
Spent some time with family.
You throw something on the grill?
Well, we actually went to family's house.
Oh, okay.
But
right.
Kate doing her regular thing, she can't show up like empty-handed or with one thing. She has to bring like a lot of things. So she made sandwiches. She made some barbecued chicken. She made like those like meatball things. You know what I mean?
Okay.
What else did she do? She did a lot of different things. Rice Krispie treats, cookies, just like tons of stuff. And but there was like a feast there. We had a blast, dude.
Awesome, man.
So it was fun. There was a lot of people there, and then just a chill Friday. And today kind of just went and ran a couple errands and stuff like that, and been chilling here. I'd been dabbling off and on in First Descendant, and we've been watching some movies and stuff like that. We watched the Snyder Cut last night, Justice League, the whole 4 hours of it.
I know. I was going to say, you watch it in parts, or did you watch the whole thing?
No, she's been a trooper with this, dude. I don't know if you heard before, but like, she wanted to watch the whole MCU.
Wow.
And this was awesome. After we had just finished watching all the X-Men movies. So we watched all the X-Men movies, then we watched the entire MCU, and now she wanted to watch the DCU. So we watched Wonder Woman 84. Then we watched Batman versus Superman and Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman, and then last night was the Snyder Cut.
Nice. So you getting through it.
We're getting through it, dude. But yeah, it's been fun kind of doing those marathon movie things, But I'm happy to be here, man. It's good to see you back on the shop.
Thank you.
And the chat's here ready to rock. We got Pong and Fuzz. I'm looking forward to it.
Let's get it, man. Appreciate it. Once again, you guys know what to do, man. Mav, show love. You already know family. All of the information down in the description below. Shout out to everybody. What's up, Mass? What's up, Surprise? What's up, Ghost? All you beautiful people in chat. Once again, hang out with us. Interact in chat. We will not bite, man. No biases here, man. We just hang out, have fun. So appreciate all of you beautiful people hanging out with us this Saturday evening, man. But got to get into my two co-hosts, the two best co-hosts in the gaming podcast space, man. Start with you, Pong. How you been? I know what you've been playing. I don't even need to ask. We didn't even need a pregame because you've been playing what I've been playing.
Oh, let's try getting off mute. Hey, everybody, what's going on? Happy Saturday night. I'm in vacation mode, so I'm not even in, I haven't really been in podcasting mode. Steele and I had a nice 4-hour show this morning. But yeah, started Thursday, got off early on Thursday, got some stuff done. Servers were down, but since then it's been First Descendant, nonstop for the most part. I've got over, I've got 32 hours, it says on Steam, and I put a few hours in on Xbox today to try out the Xbox version. I was just helping brother Psychonauts try to get caught up a little bit too. Helped Steele the other day run some stuff too. But yeah, It's been all First Descendant. And I know we're going to talk about it, so I'll kind of save my thoughts about it. But obviously, looter shooter, haven't had one really grab me like this since Diablo 4 dropped. Last Epoch grabbed me for a little bit, and I love that Last Epoch too. I gotta get back to that. But First Descent is just different. First Descendant is hitting different. So yeah, I've got my one character maxed out right now, and almost mastery level 10, and we're level 11 in season pass. So we're rocking and rolling. Spent some money, flipped the devs the money. I decided to do it because I knew within 2 hours this was my type of game. But we will talk more about First Descendant. I will also shout out a couple PC games that I tried earlier in the week before First Descendant dropped. Anybody on PC, couple smaller games, and we do this from time to time too, the indie games, because you guys know I enjoy the indie games. I'd forgotten on Xbox Ultimate to mention these, but I did mention them this morning on Living Split Screen. But let me start with anybody liking Vampire Survivors, Brotato, the auto shooters. That there's a billion of them now. Let me talk about this one that I caught wind of a while back, and I picked it up super cheap on Steam, and that's Halls of Torment. Anybody who wants Vampire Survivors,
I've heard of
extra
that.
skill, yeah.
I watched Asmongold play it.
Did you? Yeah. So, old school CRPG graphics. Think Diablo 1. Think original Neverwinter Nights, Baldur's Tale. Baldur's Tale. Oh my God, I can't speak tonight. Think of those old school CRPGs, dark fantasy, but Vampire Survivors with some really cool mechanics. So, really good game. Having a blast with that one. Really interesting runs that you get into. And like I said, it is challenging. So that is one I'd like to shout out. The other one too, roguelikes. Anybody into roguelikes out there, go check out Beacon. Beacon is one that got some run on Steam from some people too. I picked that one up super cheap. Minimalistic, artistic style, but very, very cool. Pops off the screen. Multiple ways to go about levels. There's secrets in the levels. Basically, you're a clone in a sci-fi world, and you're trying to figure out what's going on. The catch or the little twist that they put on roguelikes as you're collecting different weapons and powering up and stuff, you actually also pick up DNA from some of the aliens and stuff that you're killing, and you could take that DNA and you can morph your abilities, and sometimes you don't know what you're going to get because they've got volatile DNA which can mutate once you use it into something that you weren't ready for, but your character, like I had one mutation where I grew antennas so that I had better radar, and it actually showed up on my character. I actually got these two little antennas coming out of my character's head. It is dope. It's got laser guns. It's got rocket launchers. It's got all types of weapons. It's got grenades. It is just a cool ass game. I had a lot of fun with that. I'm almost 2 hours into my first run ever, and still making the first run. Have not died yet, but there is a lot to explore in that game. So Beacon and Halls of Torment, I'll shout those two out.
Nice.
Really, really cool games, man. Really cool. But yeah, otherwise I'm ready to talk some gaming, especially the First Descendant stuff. So let's get down to it, PTK.
Let's get it, man. You always selling us, man. You need to go ahead and get a deal, some kind of deal with somebody website, man. You always selling everybody every week on some kind of game, man. Shout out to you for that. Once again, appreciate you coming through always every single week, Pone. You're a family, you're my brother, man. And glad that you had a good week as well too, man. So
yeah, thanks.
Last but not least, the boy, Mr. Fuzzy Belvedere. How you doing, Fuzz? What you been playing, bro?
Oh man, I'm glad to be here with you guys. Just been playing a little bit of GT7 today. Didn't really touch First Descendant at all today, but also played a little bit of Undisputed. Still, playing that, making some new characters, trying to recreate actual boxers and stuff that maybe they'll have it for the launch day or whatever, as far as more DLC packs or something like that. But in the meantime, using the character creator works well. And then I think it was yesterday or so, played a little bit of the Division 2 and Forza Horizon 5, collecting the cars for the week, still still getting gear for my fourth agent that's now a level 40 and stuff like that. But probably going to put that down for a good bit, just like I put Diablo down for a bit for this First Descendant. I want to try to get my accounts linked on both Steam and on PlayStation, just so that way, bounce back and forth between them, see which platform plays best. So far, it looks like from some of the reports, it's going to be Xbox outside of, playing on PC and stuff like that. But man, just glad to be here with you guys. A lot to get into as far as this looter shooter and Xbox stuff and ABK stuff. So let's do this.
And let's get into it, man. Shout out to everybody in chat. Cyber, Sergeant, man. Everybody coming through showing love. I'm sure we'll get some FSP love falling through as well. I know Psycho's hanging out in here too as well. But let's get into it, man. You know what we diving into. As you guys can see, first thing we get into is First Descendant, man. And obviously this is a game that hit the radar a couple years ago. I couldn't remember, Pong. You might be able to tell me, Mav, as well too. Did we first see this? I was trying to think the other day, and I don't do no goddamn research. So just doing off the top of my head, was this VGAs or was it the Xbox Showcase like a couple years ago?
It wasn't the Xbox Showcase. I was trying to think if it was the Future Game Show, though.
Was it Future Game Show? I thought we saw it in immediately because it was. I thought we saw it because we immediately associated it with Xbox, like the first time we saw it. I thought, but maybe not.
No,
Okay.
we did not.
All right.
I'm trying to think. The first Descendant was okay. Here we go. First Descendant was first shown to the world back in July 2022.
2020. Okay, so
2022, but
Summer Game Fest.
Shit.
July.
July.
It could be any one of those showcases.
No, July would have been. Yeah, it would have been different. I wonder if it was just I wonder if they just threw it out there, but it could have been one of those other shows.
Facts.
Yeah.
But either way, the next time we saw it, I believe it was with Xbox. I'm pretty sure we saw it, well, at least one of the times after that. But either way, it was a game that we've been looking forward to for a couple of years. It's been on our radar. We've talked about it multiple times in the showcase. And listen, one thing I got to get this out the way.
It was Summer's Games Fest.
Summer Game Fest. Okay, I knew it was one of the two, and then we saw it on Xbox. Well, not associated with Xbox, but I think Xbox showed it at one of their showcases the next time we saw it. I can't remember. I believe the next year. But either way, it's a game that, once again, was on our radar here. I know us four have been anticipating it, but it seems to be taking, I don't want to say the internet by storm, but it's doing extremely well. Obviously, a looter shooter. And I know some people are already giving it that generic title, that label, but it's a bit more than that. And I me, Pong, I don't necessarily jump into these things right away. People hear free to play, and the first thing they think of is microtransactions and quality issues, right? And problems. But this game has neither one of those. This game has neither one. Though that is not an issue. So I want to make sure I just get that out of the way. Just let's clear the air. If anybody had that question or was wondering that had not played it in chat. But I want to just go around the panel first, get everybody's opinion, no matter how much you played it, how little bit or how much you played it. Mav, we'll start with you. Obviously, you the guest, bro. This game, I just checked a minute ago, Mav, and it's still hovering around 200K on Steam. Now, obviously, it's on, you get it in Xbox too. It's on everything. So, we don't have those numbers, but it's doing extremely well. What's been your experience so far? Just what's your thoughts on it in general?
Yeah, I mean, I probably played it less than anybody else here. However, I have really enjoyed my time with it so far. It's actually surprised me. It wasn't one that I was like super anticipating, or that I was just like, I can't wait for this game or anything like that. It was one that I was kind of like, yeah, people talking about it. I see the trailers that look really cool. That's happened a lot of times with games that I'm just not into. They kind of come and go. But this one, it's free to play. I was like, I'll go ahead and give it a shot. I'm liking what I see. But when I dove into it, I'm getting like awesome vibes of just casual, chill fun, and I really like the game. I like at first when I played it for my first, I was like, oh, this is okay. But then I got like an itch, like I wanted to go back in. And so then I wanted to go back in, and then I had more fun. Then I started learning a little bit more about how the mission systems work and running around and doing the different missions in the open areas and stuff like that. All the stuff with the weapons and the abilities and the add-on modifiers for the weapons and all that kind of stuff. I find it kind of super simple and intuitive and kind of fairly easy to understand. And graphics are good. The movement is a blast. You're able to jump in and out with randoms really, really fast as well. So
cross play, cross progression, cross save.
Yeah, exactly. It's got and it's all working, like it's got like all this stuff. And I know that there's some complaints about some of the monetization and stuff out there. But for me, it's a free to play game. They're going to monetize it somehow. And, nothing's ever going to be perfect in that genre at all to meet exactly what everybody wants for monetization on those kind of things. But I haven't found anything like crazy egregious or anything like that either. It seems like for the most part, it's a game that I think is going to have legs, and I'm enjoying my time with it so far. looking forward to playing tonight with
Yeah.
some of you guys. I think I'm a little bit behind, so I got to
Yeah.
some catching up to do because I'm only a few hours compared to like Pong's like 30 or 40 or whatever.
I'm not quite 30. I'm probably about 10, 11, I would say. So I'm not quite 30, but I'm in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, and I was messing with the linking it earlier because I hadn't installed it on the PC. When I've been playing more like on the Xbox, but at night, when we're watching movies and stuff, kind of like console streaming.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to just sitting down and kind of just diving in tonight after we're done because I got my Steam version now linked to my Xbox progress.
Nice.
So we're good to go.
Nice. Oh, we're gonna get in. And you're right. So I think I want to highlight, and you all those points are great, Mav, especially you. I was surprised too, chat. Let me know. We talk about First Descendant. What's up, Risket? My Aussie brother in the house. Appreciate you, man. What's up, Cyber? What's up, Sergeant? But let us know what you guys been playing First Descendant. What you guys think about it. Give your thoughts as well too. But Mav, I think one of the things that surprised me too. Now outside of the day 2, I think it was day 2 server issues they were having. Minus that, I think the overall like quality experience really surprised me. Caught me a little off guard because once again, you hear free to play. God damn it, our mind defaults to okay, this is probably going to be like half-ass. Like there's a good chance. Now, not that there is going to be, but there's a good chance it's going to be half-ass. So that's kind of where things default. I was extremely surprised. It feels fleshed out. Now, obviously, as the game matures, these games, we got to let them breathe too, man. That's another thing. The game's 3 days old, right? So a lot of the complaints that people are having now are naturally going to go away as they update the game. We get bug fixes, things like that. It'll never be perfect. So you're 100% right on that, Mav.
Yeah, I kind of complain about every damn thing. This free-to-play game has too many things to buy. What are we really doing when it comes to complaining about every little thing? Now, if this was a $70 game or something like that, and they have some of the same kind of monetization schemes that they have going on, I can understand a little bit more, but like it's even not as bad as some of these $70 games monetization stuff that's going on in a lot of games, right? So for me, it's kind of like they built something that seems like it makes sense for them to make some money because that's the business. It's what the game's supposed to do, right? But at the same time, give you tons of content to play for absolutely free if you want to, and it's all optional.
And they already got a roadmap, mind you. Now, once again, that remains to be seen. We'll see how that's fleshed out. But what I like is that there's a lot of meat on the bone. Like, that's what I care about. When I look at these games, Mav, like, from my perspective, I see what it could be down the line. Like, at least that's what I try and do. Because, obviously, I'm a Destiny guy. So I've lived through this, the Division guy. I've lived through paid games being full of shit and obviously free games being full of shit and having to deal with that.
You remember Destiny 1 when it came out?
Oh, it was bare, but it was nothing. Nothing.
Finished the game and
there was nothing to do.
I loved my playthrough.
It was nothing to do.
But when I finished it, it's like, okay, now we gotta wait.
Now we gotta wait
for a raid, and then the raid comes out, and it's just like one thing, and then you gotta make sure you have like 3 hours dedicated of doing absolutely nothing, and you have to do it just didn't work out for me. And then you just finish that and you wait for another one. You know, like, and
then it was even worse on Xbox because we didn't even they were keeping missions. We didn't even get a mission. It was PlayStation exclusive as well as not a raid. What's below the raids? The weeklies you can do, dungeons or whatever you call. I can't remember what you call them.
But they still had all this other stuff you can buy too. You know what I mean? It's like it's so this is the ultra complaining about nitpicking about monetization ideas and free to play games. I understand it's not like ever going to be perfect what everybody wants because it would be amazing if everything was just free and there was no other things like that. But like it's still got to make money. Like so they're going to do things structured with the game to try and run a business, and that's in contrast to paying $60-$70 for something that the quality is deserving of. In my
100%.
The quality and the amount of content. The amount of content they're giving here for free is worthy for me of a $60-$70 game.
There's 9 regions on the map, on the large main map, right? There's 9 regions. There's about 4 or 5 smaller regions with another 4 or 5 like specific missions in those smaller regions. So it's a pretty sizable game right off the bat. And once again, this is just a bare bones. This is day 3 into this game. So I'm extremely impressed. Obviously, we're going to get around a panel here, but I've been extremely impressed so far, especially being like a Destiny guy. My expectations of these kind of games are like middle of the road. I always try them out because I'm super hopeful, and this one has blew me away, like way out of the park from quality, graphics. It's been seamless, jumping in and out with randoms. That hasn't been an issue at all, Mav. I have not experienced a situation where it was a problem. Like, I actually embrace the fact that I can just if I randomly go hit a mission, if somebody happens to be doing it, like, I jump in with them if they happen to be in the same instance as me. So that's kind of cool. You know, sometimes that would bother me, but like this implemented really well. So I'm having a ball with this game. But I know we're going to get to you, Pong, because you've been playing obviously probably the most out of us 3 here, brother. And this is a game we were extremely looking forward to. And shout out Steel. I know he's not here in the chat yet, but I know Steel was bigging up this game too. He's been streaming it like crazy, but Pong, like, bro, this has been I don't say eye-opening experience for me, but this is way overshot what I thought, you know, for what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, Steele and I talked about this game literally for over 2 hours this morning and all the different stuff around it, because there is a lot around this game. But yeah, no, they Nexon and the devs obviously did their homework. Number one, they understood, as we've talked about plenty of times, in 2024, you can't enter this space, whether you're free to play or even if you do cost money. If you're trying to capture the looter shooter space, co-op shooter space,
just a little bit of it,
bro. there is so much competition. You got to have it right. Again, we watched what happened to Anthem back in the day. They had something special, but they didn't have the content. Nexon did their homework. They did multiple betas. Steel participated in one of the betas. I watched him stream it while I was at work. That's when I knew this had something. And when I heard Steel go, yeah, they got to make a little bit of tweaks here and there, but yeah, this one's on my list now. I was like, okay, this has got to feel as good as it looks, right? And then Steel, after he first tried the full version, he said, yeah, they definitely polished the hell out of this. This is, you know, the beta experience was good. This is really good.
Yeah.
And so when I hopped in and I saw how much content was available for free to play, and and again, I do play differently. I have been helping people. I've been running some stuff, but for the most part, I've been running straight through the missions. I haven't been putzing around too much, a little bit here and there.
Same. I've been going straight through the main mission.
Yeah. So I'm over 30 hours in, and I'm on the 7th area. Right. So I've still got 2 more areas after the 7th area to open up. I've beat the 5th Colossus now, and fuck that guy. The Devourer can kiss my ass.
Man, okay? I've been hearing about that guy. I'm dreading. This is starting to feel like some Elden Ring type shit. I keep hearing that, seeing that name on the timeline.
2 hours straight of jumping in, literally jumping in and running with different teams, because I was running with randos. So I was soloing it up, trying to find a group who understood the assignment, because that dude's got a healing ability. When he rages out, he goes into healing mode. If you guys aren't ready, it's over. You're done. So again, 2 hours straight to finally find a group that understood it, and we beat him with just under 50 seconds to go. Like, it's ridiculous. He is crazy. Anyways, so I've been doing all that, 30 hours. I still got 2 more areas to open up. Listen, this game has it all. When it comes to looter shooters, again, the main thing, of course, is the loot. It's going to be the loot. Does it give me the dopamine hit that I look for? I freely admit, I know what these games are about.
Come on, man. Preach, Pong. Preach.
Listen. If it's got any semblance of a story to it, that's a cherry on top. Okay, I'm out here grinding for loot. I want to feel like I'm becoming godlike. I want to feel more powerful. I want to feel my weapons get better. I want to walk and run through enemies quicker and faster and better than I was just an hour ago. That's what a looter shooter is supposed to be like. They give you that power fantasy. And they also have a cherry on top, because while the story isn't groundbreaking, not mind-blowing, it's not going to be anything you haven't seen before. It's filled with tropes, but you know what? The cinematics are pretty damn freaking good, man. And some of the characters that they got, are actually really interesting
Yeah.
and actually drive some emotion. Fuck Jeremy too, by the way. You
Yeah, I
guys will
hate
meet
that.
Jeremy. Fuck that dude too, by the way. Anyways, they give you yes, and the character's name is actually Jeremy, and yes, there's a mini boss called Greg in here too. Okay, this is what we're rolling with, folks. But it's dope. It is fun. So I get the cherry on top of the loot. That's what matters to me. But like you guys talked about, it's polished. The movement is fantastic. Is there still some performance issues? Yes. I've now played on Series X. Let me tell you something. In Albion, which is your main city,
there's a lot of
literally south of midnight. Think south of midnight. That's how you're running through Albion sometimes in performance mode, mind you. I tried balance mode with frame generation. It was even worse. I was like, oh my God. PC wise, I had some crashes the first day after they did the big update, then did the alternate patch. I have not had any crashes. We do get lag spikes from time to time. It's still very rare, but every once in a while in the middle of a battle, you might have a lag spike. So they got some things to work on. Otherwise, good to go. For the most part, good to go. Once you get out in the open on the Series X in performance mode, the resolution is way down, but it still runs great and still feels good. And that's the most important thing about a shooter. Grapple hook is not the best grapple hook ever created, but my God, is it more than serviceable? Hell yeah, it is. And once you figure out how to swing, you can pull off some pretty crazy moves, right? So it's pretty dope. I love the movement. I love how fast your characters are. The abilities all feel good. They're gonna adjust some of the abilities. I'm playing Sharon right now. She's probably one of the least played characters. If I'm just taking a sampling of every character that I see, Sharon is not played. She's the assassin. So she can go invisible. They need to buff some of her skills. Her skills are a little weak in overall totality compared to some of the other characters. But that's okay. I'm having a blast with her. It was between her and Freyna, who's the poison girl, who I was going to start with. I decided to start with Sharon, and I've run her all the way up to level 40. And I'm planning on finishing out through the main missions with her before I switch over. So I'm having a blast with her. The guns feel fantastic. The shooting feels fantastic. Listen, I've said it multiple times now. I will put this up against any third-person shooter out there, including Destiny. It is right up there as far as shooting. Is it on the same level or above Destiny? Probably not, but I'd be willing to put it up against it because that's how good they got the shooting. And coming from a team, necessarily not ex-Bungie, like, Bungie guys who are known and gals who are known for shooters, like they did an awesome job making the shooting feel great. Every single weapon class feels punchy, feels solid. I
love that the gun sounds too. The gun sounds are really good, man.
Great. Sounds great. Challenge level. A lot of people claim it's really, really easy. Listen, I don't know why in 2024 people still don't understand what looters are. Go play Diablo. You can run through packs and packs and packs of enemies. That's the way it's supposed to be. Those are ads. Those are for loot. That's what you're supposed to do. The AI isn't supposed to be calculating. The AI isn't supposed to be smart. Now, I know Division did a little bit more of that, and it is one of the better AIs. But for the most part, in all looters, you're just running through those ads just to get the experience, get the loot, get to the next boss. That's what you're supposed to do. And let me tell you, though, if you're running solo, there are some missions, especially depending on what character you use, where you would get mobbed.
I haven't been down yet, but I've been close so many times playing solo, man, getting overrun. I had to run away a couple times.
Yeah, not counting Colossuses. Colossi, I've been down probably 3 times, I think, by mobs. But Sharon is one of the weaker characters when it comes to that, too. So she is one of the weaker ones. But still, it's not easy. You are putting in some work, let me tell you, when you're running solo. And I got to shout out the team. Again, you already said it, PTK, but cross saves, cross progression, cross play, working
out the box.
This is AAA quality free to play right here. This is not AA. This isn't indie. This is AAA. They put the money into this game to make this work, and they must have tested the hell out of it because it is flawless. Steel jumped in opening day with Decado. Decado was on Xbox. Steel was on PC. Flawless. Me and Steel jumped in together, both on PC. Flawless. I'm running missions. All of a sudden, I look up in the corner of my screen. 2 dudes join me. One PC PlayStation guy, one Steam guy, one Xbox guy, all with me. all flawless, instantaneous. The instant transports, teleporting everywhere, flawless. Right? It is just works beautifully, and it's within seconds.
Yep.
Okay. This we don't get all the time onto some of the biggest budget games out there. And here's Nexon putting out a free-to-play game. As far as the monetization goes, folks, people want to sit out here and claim this is egregious. This is not egregious. Is it aggressive? Yes, it is aggressive. But this is no different than a billion other games that we've already seen. And the Warframe comparisons
I was gonna say
are the easiest
perfect.
ones.
Yep.
Are perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It's all optional. There's a lot of bad information going out there. That's why Steele and I talked about this for 2 hours. A lot of bad information. People trying to tell you that it's pay to win. Okay, first of all, it's PvE. I will never say that there's pay to win in PvE. I don't care. Okay, it's PvE. But the facts are you can earn everything. You can grind out for the ultimate characters. Is it going to take your time? Yes, it is. That's why this is a free-to-play model. This has been ongoing for over a decade now, since we started getting into this games as a service free-to-play area, monetization. Mobile games started with gacha games, and they've just moved it over to console games. It is all optional. You can get the ultimate bunny if you spend the time, and you never have to spend a dime in this game. You can play this game for hundreds, thousands of hours without ever spending money. Do they set it up so that it makes you want to spend money? Yes, but that's where personal responsibility comes into play. If you have a problem with that, then I suggest that you step away from these types of games if you can't stop yourself from spending money. If you have the money and you want to spend the money, great, fantastic. But there is nothing in this game. I saw Paul Tassi, we read through his article today, using things like this game roadblocks me at every turn.
Wow.
It makes me want to spend money.
I didn't see that. I'm glad I'm not looking at any articles, bro. I'm glad.
Listen, again, the language, the way they angle and slant these articles is awful. I came at Paul Tassi this morning because I'm like, you know what roadblock tells people. People assume it means it stops you from playing the game. That's the old mobile way of doing things, when you had energy and you got to buy more energy to continue on with the game. Nothing stops you from continuing the game. If you do research, let's say you research a new gun. Yes, you have to wait 4 hours for the ultimate weapons on research. But do you have to stop playing? Do you need that gun to go? Do you need that gun to go to the next mission? No, you don't. So you keep running. And the next thing you know, 4 hours has passed by and that gun's waiting for you the next time you drop into Albion. Right? If you want to spend money and speed it up, you certainly can. Go right ahead. Like I said, 2 hours in, I knew that this game was for me. This is why I love the free-to-play model. I got to try the game for myself and find out what kind of quality Nexon was giving me. 2 hours in, I knew. I was hooked. I was like, yes, I will be putting hours into this game. Devs earn my money. I bought the $70 pack, 3,000 coins, which doesn't even buy you the ultimate if you wanted to buy the ultimate. The ultimate is about $100 if you want to skip all the grinding. So, but I bought $70 worth. I flipped them the $70. And I said, I'm happy with this. Costumes, that's the only thing you can't earn is some of the costumes. And that's it. Okay? You can't earn the boosts. So if you want an XP boost or gold boost or weapon XP boost or whatever, you got to buy those too if you want those. But again, it's not pay to win because you're not competing against anybody. You're not. Even at the end of a mission, when you go to look at your mission stats, you're not even compared. Some games compare you to everybody else in your party. They don't even compare you here. So this is strictly you and you alone. And it's your personal responsibility to decide whether or not this is worth it to you to give the devs some extra bucks towards this game. I love the free-to-play model. I will never down the free-to-play model. And this is one of the best examples from a quality standpoint that you can ever ask for in a free-to-play game. Right now, this is a complete package. Now, we have not hit endgame yet. Don't know what endgame looks like, which is a big part of this. But the fact is, before I even hit endgame, I'm probably going to wind up with about 40 to 60 hours into this game. That, to me, is worth a full price. Okay? Same with Tiny Tina's Wonderland, another game that didn't have good endgame. I paid full price for the ultimate package. DLC didn't hit like it normally does for Gearbox. I still said it was worth my money for that game. So no matter what, I know that this game has already given me that $70. Now beyond that, Well, that's going to be up to me down the road. I still have 2,000 coins of just about 2,000 coins left over. I bought a couple outfits for Sharon. I spent money. You do, and this is one thing I will say is a little over the top. They do ask you to buy for each paint and color that you want to color your armor. That is a little much. We could do something better with that, Nexon, but I even did that, and I still got 2,000 coins left over. I bought the battle pass. They give you enough coins in the battle pass. I saw Paul Tassi in his article was complaining that the battle pass didn't even give you any outfits. He failed to mention this battle pass is only $10, folks. This is not a $20 battle pass. This is not a $30 battle pass that we've become accustomed to nowadays. This is a $10 battle pass. And yes, you can earn enough coins through the battle pass to buy the next battle pass as well for the next season. They have gone over the top in many ways. A lot of the quality of life stuff that isn't always set up in these games is set up in this game. Okay. The quality of life, the ease for which you can dismantle your weapons in your inventory.
It's so intuitive, bro. It's so intuitive. I just put up a screenshot of being able to do that. Division is one of the few looter shooters where you're able to view on the ground and in your inventory, as well as like be able to break down, components, whatever you got. And this game has that. I noticed that right away. I said, they really did their homework. They really looked at all of those very small things that, like you said, they took a lot of different elements and tried to really stuff them in this game on top of it being a free to play. This is not normal. Most free to plays we get don't have this level of attention to detail.
No, there's a lot. There's usually more stuff missing. Is this game perfect? No, it's not.
No, absolutely
it's
not. Yeah.
Like you said, it's got to breathe. We're 3 days into a live service game. They have a roadmap in place that they're talking about doing. They are in this for the long haul. It is getting mixed reviews for all different reasons from people on Steam especially. But the fact remains that there is nearly 200,000 people. They set the record earlier today at 248 for concurrent on Steam. So you got to figure they probably got about 300 to 400,000 with the consoles playing at any given moment right now. That is impressive stuff for a game out the gate. People are always going to be unhappy these days. But I just want to get back to the fact that this is free to play. Go download this game on whatever system and try it for yourself. There is zero reason to listen to anybody on these games when a game is free to play or in Game Pass. And you have Game Pass, go download the game and try it for yourself. That's what I'm going to say about this. Let me tell you, as somebody who did try the cross progression too, because now I played on Xbox, instantly flawless. Not even a load. Like in Starfield, right? Depending on how many saves you have, there's a load when you haven't played like on Xbox for a while or you haven't played on PC for a while. It takes a minute to move over the saves and make sure that they're synced. This, not even that. I fired it up last night just to check it out. I didn't play. I just wanted to see if it worked. Instantaneously, menu screen, the shader loads, and I was there at the main screen, and there's my character, Sharon, sitting there at her correct level. Everything I popped in today, actually played. Everything right there where I had it all set up, everything good to go. The other little quality of life too. I don't know if you guys noticed this too, by the way. I'm sure you have now. PTK, I'm sure. If on your weapons, when you add mods to your weapons, right? Most games, when you swap out weapons, you'll have to go back and re-add mods.
Oh yes, it keeps them on.
It keeps them on.
Yeah, I noticed that. It's the same type of weapon.
It's beautiful, man. Little touches like
mind you, I know we're kind of gushing here. We're going to get to you, Fuzz. I promise to God. I promise. But the other thing, too, is that it'll literally tell you where to go find each module or each part at, too. You didn't mention that. If you need a component or something to craft, if you're farming, you want to get Ultimate Bunny and you need a specific piece, you can go to the specific, I don't remember what it's at specifically, but you can go and literally, I believe you hit X, and it'll tell you what mission, where to go to find it, or where it'll drop at. The percent chance, It's crazy.
Yeah, it does. And I saw people complaining about the percent chances.
Those will be tweaked. Those will be tweaked.
They'll be tweaked, but that's the loop. They're not going to give
Yeah.
everybody. They're
Yeah.
going to make you earn it because yes, do they want you to spend money? Yes, this is a business model. They didn't make this game free to play out of the goodness of the heart. They took one of the biggest risks that you can in gaming. They spent years, probably close these days, $50 to $100 million, I imagine, on this game in UE5, developing a game and offering it to the public for free to play, getting nothing up front. Of course they want you to spend money. Of course they want you to be generous. That's the business model. But do you have to? No. Is anything stopping you from doing everything you want to in this game for free? Absolutely freaking not. It is all open to you. You can play through the entire game without ever spending a dime. Like, again, I never as a kid would have ever imagined a day that I would get a game with hundreds to thousands of hours of content for free. Like, just out there. Like, hey, go ahead and go play this. Go have fun. If you decide to spend $20, cool. Spend $20, cool. That's great. But not putting anything that is going to allow me to actually finish the game behind a locked paywall, but giving me everything up front. This is a great system. I love these games. And I know we haven't always had the best quality, but if this one right here is a prime example of a team that respects what they are doing and does want players to come try their game, and they gave their best all out the gate to grab people, knowing that they've got a limited amount of time to grab a hold of people. For me, it's working. And I think for a lot of people, because I've seen a lot of people like PTK, I've seen a lot of people out here in this community going, yeah, this game's good, man. I can't wait to see where they take this game. I am happy that they dropped this game when they did. And hats off to Nexon. It's not perfect, but they've got more than just a base here. They've already got some of the framework for a really good game that could be around for a very long time if they expand it outright. So having a blast with this game. Again, go check it out, download it, no risk. Just go check it out. It's worth your time to see if it's something that you are into. If you're not into it, totally cool. Have zero issue with it. But please don't spread bad information about this game because you haven't taken the time to actually investigate and see what the game's about. Even though they told you all for years what this game was going to be, you just didn't all listen. So, anyways, that's where I'll end it before I go on rant. But
no, it's
great.
all good.
I'm having a great time, man.
Look, I'm embellishing just as you. You know, I had to jump in a couple of times too. So I'm just as excited too as you about this game, brother. Like I said, it surprised me. The quality, like you said, you went over. And the crazy thing is that this just continues with 2024. The whole notion that this year is just as good as last year. And these games, we're winning right now. You look at this game, it's not the same as Power World, which neither one of those games is the same as something like Helldivers 2, but they're all winning. They're all massively successful. Yep. So we're winning. We're doing our fucking job as gamers out here, really playing these games, and I appreciate that. And it really shows that Nexon is really, like you said, they give a shit about what they're doing, and it absolutely shows. It comes to 1,000%. So Fuzz, let's throw this over to you, bro. I know we've been babbling over here, talking 1,000 miles an hour about this game, bro. But where are you at, man? Where you just? I know you don't have as many hours, but just bro, we're Division fans. Like we know what these games are supposed to feel like.
Well, remember what I said when we first played? It was me, you, and the Blue, and I was
I remember.
I bet you this does better than Destiny. This can do.
You
Destiny
did say that.
It spoils me in the sense that it now shows me what is missing from the Division in games like Destiny. Like some of the things that you guys pointed out as far as attachments on the weapons, which yes, attachments on the weapons for Division is pretty easy. But when you're getting the same style weapon, you're doing the upgrade, you go from like a level 8 to a level 14 or whatever, all of your attachments are there. And as long as you're paying attention to like the economy on that weapon or however many points
allocated points you have,
there's so many different combinations that you can do. I have yet to really try combinations of different
elements.
Different elements. Like
I haven't either.
I have one, but I think you might be able to get 2. I don't know if I
You can. I have a few different ones for yeah. You can get more than one, but I don't know. I haven't tried to put more than one on a gun. Maybe you have, Pong.
Put more than one what?
Like element, like ice and fire on one gun or something. Is that possible or no?
No, it's not, because if you use similar,
it won't let you. You're right. It blocks you.
Anything that is a similar stat effector,
You're right.
it only allows
It's
one of those.
One of that specific kind.
Yes,
You're right.
Yes,
all right,
that is correct. Yep.
Go ahead, Fuss.
No, but along with the fact that it doesn't have gear or gear score or anything like that, but it does have like the inserts for your character. It has, I guess, like things to make your gear work better, like the I guess you could
components
synergy. Like there's like a thing where you could have like the ice effect for your entire character, but then it works with a certain type of weapon, which then if you put that ice effect on that certain type of weapon, you check all the boxes. It makes you and that weapon.
That's your reactor.
That's your reactor.
Your reactor. Bonuses.
So all of these things that they've paid attention to without making it convoluted on gear, where you have to worry about different buffs and different perks and things like that. I mean, yeah, there's still a lot of different perks and stuff to work with, but it seems like it's simple or simplified in comparison to your Destinies or the Division and things along those lines. Like I would say the biggest thing I like about this is that, one, it's UE5 and it's able to run 60 frames on these consoles. Like I have yet to try it on PC, but on my Series X, it's running 60. Now, like Pong said, you will get a little bit of a weird 30 frames kind of juddery stuff, but it's like on the Series X, it's few and far between. Like at the hub world, I only get it when I go near the ship. So if I'm like sidestepping around the ship, that's a 30 frames animation, but everything else is fluid 60. Like I've yet to see this thing like hiccup or stutter at all. And it's, I can tell it's running smoothly when my eyes start to water as I'm just like blasting through stuff. The other thing that I really like, that this is a part that spoils it for other games for me, is that how you can join from a persistent world. Like you just walk past a mission, you hear the gunfire in the distance.
You can hear it,
that's a big thing.
It's crazy, man.
It reminds me of how the Dark Zone is on the Division, where you can hear the gunfire down the street, and it's like, well, is that a rogue or is that somebody you want to go and help? And then the First Division, it was like, all right, let's go and see if we can help them. But it's the same type of feel that you get with this. Like, oh, wait, what's going on down there? Let me go check that out. All right, they're in the middle of a mission. I'm shooting at the enemies. Now I'm in that mission, and I get the rewards from that mission by helping them. I wish that stuff existed, other than like the public events in Destiny. I wish something like that existed in the Division. Like that was the big thing that I was hoping, where you can call for backup from like the nearby hub or safe house or whatever.
Sure can,
but it never felt the same. Like you're not seeing any of the other agents once you walk out those doors of the safe house. It's like you're in your own, persistent world or instance, and the only way to get somebody to join your instance is to call for help. But this seems more natural, more fluid. Like you're going to see other, descendants walking around fighting other things, and you can choose to help or you can choose to go about your own business kind of thing. And I like that freedom and having it where if you want to play solo, but then I'm going to need some help, just stand by one of those things, or somebody will more than likely see that you're having to fight and that you're getting swarmed, and then they shoot a rocket at the enemies or something. Now they're helping out with that mission. So I love that type of setup. As far as when it comes to the whole microtransactions, the only thing I have a complaint of is that there aren't enough cosmetics, like variety in cosmetics. So, that will come. I know that sounds like
that's the Forza. Complaint. That's the Forza coming out of you, Fuzz.
But I want more variety of different things. Now I haven't really dove into it just yet. I'm still trying to figure out which characters I would pay to unlock, or which ones I'm gonna choose to grind for, type of deal. But overall, the base game itself, just playing it from a free to play standpoint, it doesn't feel anywhere near as draggy as what Destiny felt once it went free to play. Like when you paid for it and then you had the expansions and things like that, it didn't feel as egregious with their what was it, not the sand stuff, but like the some sort of dust or whatever, and the color things, which they eventually, after enough complaints, they finally fixed. with Destiny, but there's been so many other things. Like even with the Division in the first one, they had these keys and key pieces, and that didn't go over very well. And then they made it
Yeah.
a lot easier for their for you to earn it in game for like the first 2 weeks, and then the last 2 weeks you'd have to pay to get those because you're no longer getting XP to earn that stuff. But yeah, the way this game works, I would say this is probably the best start I've seen for a looter shooter in a long time. And mind you, it's free to play, which I hope Ubisoft takes notice. I hope for the Division 3 we see a lot of some of these new and unique, quality of life things implemented into that game. Now the heck with Destiny. Destiny is on its what final shape.
Yeah,
So
swan song at this point. It's on its way out.
yeah,
Well,
it's
at least
like-
as far as we know it is. They say this Bungie's like they're kind of hinting that there's more still coming. There's seasons and things like that coming.
yeah, but I think they know that Marathon is
It's winding down. Yeah.
like what they expect. Like I honestly believe there's going to be a Destiny 3 because Marathon isn't going to land the way they expect. Like they're trying to attract the Escape from Tarkov crowd, and that game can never be that and be sci-fi. It's not going to work. Maybe they'll find the Destiny audience that will enjoy it, but if it's only PvP, I don't think you're going to have the same numbers that the previous Destiny did. But this game, I think, will. I think this game is going to eat Destiny's lunch as far as its player base at some point, and this will be the new thing that everybody tries to, copy or live up to as far as these, live service looter shooters at least. But just I think I'm about maybe 8 to 10 hours in, and I'm loving it all the way as far as how this game is set up in comparison to other looter shooters, not having to worry about gear, not having to worry about, oh, well, it doesn't have this certain percentage and doesn't jive with what I'm trying to build as far as like fire ammo or things along those lines. But no, it has all of the, I guess you could say, ingredients you need to have a successful looter shooter. And we'll see what Endgame is like.
Yeah.
The road to Endgame is fun as hell. And I could say that was the case for me with the Division. Not so much for me with Destiny, but that was, vanilla Destiny 1, didn't like it at all. Destiny 2, after a while, and after I got used to how upgrades worked, it grew on me, but it's still, Division was always my number one. But this is going to fight for some time from the Division.
Yeah, man.
I like the weapon variety. I like the research aspect of things. There's just so much stuff involved in this game that is better suited. Like upgrades for legendaries in Destiny was a pain in the butt for like the hand cannons. Like I could get the other upgrades easily, it seemed like, as far as drops, but hand cannons, which I wanted to use, it seemed like unless I wasn't using a hand cannon, which I primarily used them, I couldn't get the drop to get the legendary, whatever the upgrade was for those legendaries. So this game seems like it has a better route as far as doing those upgrades for your legendaries and stuff. But I don't know. We'll see. But the people that aren't enjoying this game, I'm pretty sure there's other games that you can go to play instead. Like you can go back to Destiny or the Division or any other game out there that suits your fancy. But it just seems like some of the complaints are trying to be pile on because they're afraid that something will circumvent or support Destiny. And
it's
I
just
think that's what part of that is. But because I mean, if you have people like, what's his name, Tassie, complaining about roadblocks and stuff like that, it's like, all right, take your fanboy glasses off for Destiny and just look at this game for what it has and what Destiny doesn't have in comparison. Like, let's just be clear. How old is Destiny right now?
as a franchise. When did that? It was on the damn.
It was like first year.
Xbox One.
So
yeah,
it's at least 10 years old now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Doesn't have crossplay or doesn't have cross save or cross progression, right?
I don't believe so. Does
I
it?
think you can do crossplay, but I'm not sure if it's between Xbox
crossplay
and
for sure.
But
I have no idea.
I know each console can do it. I think with PC or something, right?
Yeah, it's crossplay for sure.
I've been pretty much done with Destiny ever since I finished the original first game.
But it doesn't have cross progression. And of all the Ubisoft games, Division is still one that doesn't have cross progression or cross save. And I think they said all games moving forward after Division 2 should have it, which I believe they do, but there hasn't been like that open world, looter shooter that has that. Like
I got a question just in general, guys. Like, what do people want?
Well,
like I see all the complaints and stuff, but like about different monetization things, but like they knew that this was going to be a free to play game. So
exactly.
Like, what is like the thought process about like them not being allowed to monetize anything with some of these things when they're giving so much for free? I see so many different things in games that are like completely egregious, right? Some genres out completely asinine, pay to win, crazy expensive, make you feel like you need this kind of stuff all the time. None of these guys that write these articles and stuff ever complain or write articles about these kind of things or anything. But a game comes out like this, right? That has a lot of content for free and has some monetization things that like, okay, yeah, sure. Like I can see that one's not going to be the best for everybody, but like at the same time, like nobody likes spending money. So of course there's going to be something that you don't like about having to feeling like you're having to spend money, but you're not taking into account the fact that all this shit you're getting is free. Like then don't ever even equate the free to play aspect into it. But you look at like the sports genre is the worst by far.
Oh god, FIFA,
right?
Madden,
like,
good lord!
Don't
even get me started on the biggest game on the planet, right? CS:GO. What are we talking about?
Like you talk about pay to win, like oh my god, sports games and the ultimate team modes, the my team modes. I've had rants about this stuff for a long time, and I was one of the people that spent a lot of money before in them, and like there's so many bigger problems and bigger things out there that are way more egregious than a game that has this much content for free, asking you to pay $9.99 for a battle pass. It's just ridiculous sometimes what people want. I don't understand what they want, bro.
Mav,
like I see people saying it's the worst thing ever. I'm like, really? Like, really? And that's cool if that you don't like it. Play something else, but like these people are going out there to attack this thing.
They're lying, man. They're lying. People are just lying. They're grandstanding. So you got a couple different crowds that are at play here, man, right? We got to make sure we call these people out. So we can't let you guys hide in the shadows anymore. Sorry. We're here to expose all of you, every single one of you. So you got the crowd that just wants to get ahead of it, man. Those are those guys, because inevitably the numbers will go down. There may be a little bit of a lull as far as updates, and the numbers will drop a little bit. And you got the guys that'll say, I told you so ahead of time, right? While the game's hot right now, they'll be the ones on the other side saying, well, this just that way for now. Then you got the guys that are bitter. These are guys you're talking about that come from the Destiny crowd, the Division crowd, the Anthem crowd. You know what I mean? These games that don't have some of these elements that this game already has, and they're jealous, and it's sad that they're jealous. Go play what you've been playing. That half-ass game you've been playing.
Doesn't make any sense, dude.
And then you got people that just don't want to see other people have fun, man. Yeah. This game listen, it doesn't have an Elden Ring level of lore or story. I'm sorry. It doesn't. If you come in the First Descendant trying to look for lore and Elden Ring and super deep story, you're not going to get that. There's some there. I don't want to kick it, in the butt or anything. There's a story there. They did make an effort for story and characters. I'm not going to disrespect the game, but it's not super deep. But it is an extremely fun game that offers I haven't played a free-to-play game that offered this much, that was this solid, Mav, in probably since Warframe. Probably since Warframe.
But that's also the problem, guys. That's the problem. If you read these articles and you listen to these people, they're comparing this game 3 days in to games that have been out for 6, 7, 8, 10 freaking years of growth, and going, why doesn't it do all this? It seems pretty much lacking in a lot of areas that Destiny and Warframe. What? Yeah, those games have had decades. Those teams have been
That's
around doing this.
The Forza Motorsport versus like GT7 that had been out for 2 years already. You know what I mean? Like, when they talk about, people always forget the journeys that these games took to be what they are.
Exactly.
Right? Like, if you were to say, well, if this didn't have all the content, like Sea of Thieves or what, or what you pick a random game that's live service. Like, a lot of these games always had this journey to get to where they are, and like, it's like people expect every game that comes out to have everything under the sun. It's really strange to see also just the pick and choosing of which games to complain about certain things for. That's the other thing that really bothers me, because like, there's a million other games that have a lot of the same things here and nobody ever says a damn thing about it. You can look at a lot of the gacha games that are out there, or like the Hoyoverse games, or like so many different games have a lot of the same kind of things, right? But nobody says a damn thing about it because it's cool to like those games. It's cool to be popular. All of a sudden, one comes out and like somebody starts picking on it, and somebody else is like, "Oh yeah, that's pretty bad. I'm gonna start picking on it too." Or, "Oh yeah, that's pretty bad. Oh, you know what? This is shit. This is pretty." Like, really? Is it though? Like, actually take a step back and look at what you're doing and playing. And if you don't just like the game, that's cool.
You know what it reminds me of, man?
For everybody,
this is one of those few games that takes me back to the 360 era of games that just are like really fun to play. Like, we don't get these kind of games because there's so much risk associated with devs making games nowadays that people don't take the chance. Like, a lot of these devs wouldn't even bother doing something like this. Or they would, but it would be half-assed with not nearly with 10% of the content that we're currently getting. And I want to say something else too, because this piggybacks literally, chat. I know you guys remember because we talked about it last week. Mav, Pong, Fuzz, Korean devs. What are we doing again? Like, what we need? Listen, I think we might need to shift our focus a little bit to the southwest. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, chat.
Years.
I don't know.
Years I've been pounding the table for this, but yeah, no. To Matt's point, this is something that we've ranted about again. Steele and I went off this morning because, and we had Paul Tassi, but there's been multiple people that are doing this kind of stuff too, and community members as well. This doesn't make any sense why the First Descendant wants to rile people up. Like, all the games that come out, we have Diablo $30 skins. Okay, like, we have Call of Duty, a first-person shooter, which means you don't even see your character, $20-$30 skins. Like, I don't understand why, like Mav said, and we've talked about this, it just seems random sometimes that they pick and choose which game to go after. And more so this time around, the First Descendant is just the bad information that people were putting out within the first 2 days. Like, it was, people were, and Steele was actually watching bigger YouTubers who have a lot of audience talk about this game, giving out bad information. Like, they were telling their audience that you have to spend $100 to get Ultimate Bunny. Like, you have to. There's no other way to get her. Like, that is bullshit. Like, that's straight up. Like, they're not even people who are interested in learning about the game or actually taking enough time and investing their time to figure out what the game is all about. And they're just spewing this stuff like, oh yeah, absolutely. And then you got the Paul Tassis using certain language, talking about, again, leaving out factual information. He also stated, Paul Tassi's article went on and said, oh, you're limited to how many descendants you can have before you have to delete some. He failed to mention you have 10 character slots. How many freaking people actually do 10 characters?
Yeah, that's not
Fuzzy, right? Fuzzy's one of them.
Okay, listen. I think Destiny has 3 slots you can
Three slots you can do.
And Division only has 4. So what are we doing?
And that's what I'm saying. And Paul Tassi is a Destiny veteran. He is somebody who's played He should understand this stuff. But again, he slanted his article in a certain way against the First Descendant. And I don't know why. Do this many people hate Nexon? I know
there couldn't be. There couldn't be. There's no way.
There's been a thing against Nexon because of some of their drop rates and stuff and in some of their games and their monetization. But again, I can see that years ago, but in 2024, this isn't new territory. They didn't go out of bounds or cross a new line. Like it's aggressive, but it's not over the top. But people just want to find, it seems like every few months, a game to absolutely 100% to go after and write all this negativity about it. And it doesn't make any sense. And the first Descendant, I have no idea why, because outside of some of us who were actually interested in this game, there wasn't a whole lot of talk about this game after the betas. There wasn't really, again,
we talked about it here.
Right. It's a free right. We talked, that's what I'm saying. The people who were interested in talked about, but this wasn't like a Grand Theft Auto 6, right? This was not on that kind of level radar, but all of a sudden it shows up and we got to have we had an article from VGC, an opinion piece. Fine. Everything's an opinion piece now, but they write it. And the first Descendant makes me realize that I just don't want any more of these looter shooter free to play games. Well, what? What? Okay, so the first Descendant's the one that pushed you over the edge? No, you just don't like these games, and that's okay. Go play one of the other 2,000 games that are in your back catalog right now. This isn't like we've been in a drought for video games, and the first Descendant is the first drop of rain we got in 6 months. No, it's been downpouring for the past year and a half, 2 years now of games. Why spend your time on a free-to-play game and write all this negativity? Let people try it for themselves and decide whether or not it's worth it. But there is nothing correct about a lot of these articles and negativity. That it's been written half-assed without actual research and just throwing it out there like it's truth. And it's not truth. And anybody who's put 10 minutes into this game, looked at the monetization and looked at how the game is set up, which again is nothing new, but if you look at it, you understand right away, oh, I can earn nearly everything. Oh, if I research a thing, it's going to make me wait some time. Oh, I can speed it up if I buy something. If I actually pay a little bit, I can speed that process up, or I can just keep playing the game and wait till that item's done. Oh, okay. That again, it's your choice. It's just your choice to decide what is valuable to you. It's crazy, man.
You remember our conversation we had on Ultimate last night, right? And we started the show talking about First Descendant for maybe like 15, 20 minutes or something. And this was one of the comments we got after the show. This guy says, Jeebus farking cripes. It has been like 15 minutes of super aggressive First Descendant defense. You sound like a sponsored shill. Is it true that the basic characters have different cost? Like some of them cost 300, others cost 600, and others 900. What about the battle pass? Is it true that it costs 500, but you get 300 back if you finish it, but still need to buy 500 to get the next one because they don't sell smaller package prices? These are the things I have heard. Are they true? This is like
what the hell are you talking about?
So this is like the point of like those videos and those like content creators and these people just talking about all this kind of stuff, because like none of even if that's the case, even if like the stuff is true, whatever, it doesn't fucking matter because it's a free-to-play game and it's supposed to have some monetization. It is such like a non-egregious thing for any of these kind of things that these people are saying, but they're being made big deals out of from people for some reason, right? So all of a sudden that, oh, this person said this was a big deal. Oh, is this true? Oh my God. Madden charges you like $100 for cards that are going to be worthless in a week. Okay, like just think about the kind of stuff you're complaining about with some of these games. And the worst thing of this is all is these people are complaining or just running with these kind of things like trash talking this game when it's free to try for yourself.
Crazy.
And if you would rather go and talk shit about a game than even try and see if it's worth your time, then what are you doing with your life? Like, if you honestly don't care enough to even try, then why do you care enough to talk about it? Right?
Man, it's
like,
crazy.
It just doesn't make sense. It's completely free. I was not even excited for this game, really, but it's interesting, and it's giving me like I talked to y'all last night about it. Like, it's scratching an itch I got with the original Phantasy Star that I played on Dreamcast.
That's so awesome,
like,
bro. Same thing for me, bro.
Like, it's just kind of like, okay, fun little quick mission to do,
Mhm.
run through it real quick, go back to the base. It's super relaxed, man. And I love that about this stuff.
I
And I don't,
appreciate that, man.
me
Like, I
too,
don't
dude.
need everything to be so complicated, bro. Like, we gotta
Yeah.
stop. Like, listen, y'all motherfuckers got y'all Elden Ring last week or 2 weeks ago. We
Right.
don't need everything to be like that. But I get this isn't as depth. It isn't as epic to you guys. It isn't some huge event like that was. And I'm being a little bit petty here, but either way, I just want to get my point across is that like this game for me, like this scratches an itch that I don't get very often. On top of it, the icing on the cake is that it's free to play, man. Because you're absolutely right. They could charge $50 to $60 for this game, and it's 100% justifiable as is currently. And I wouldn't even be mad if they change their mind and say, you know what, fuck it, we'll throw it out there for $50. It's worth it. Like it's worth $50-$60 easy. So for me, like we look at the climate, people forget, Mav, and it's funny how people throw stones in glass houses because we don't like how rare we actually like these kinds of free to play games come out in this state this good already. Like this doesn't happen that often, bro.
Yep.
Like when the
It's
last time we
getting a lot of praise, really? Yeah, it's just weird.
I
energy.
don't get it, bro. I don't get it. But
These other games, like you said, PTK in chat, you can't wait for Arc Raiders. Man, I hope that comes out with this much content and this polish at launch.
I feel good. I mean, the finals worked out. That's doing well. You know, I feel good about that. The same team, but same studio essentially. But I feel good about it. I feel good about where they're going, and I think this game's going to be good. So,
no, I was going to say, I think Brett Bingham might have had something to point out where Paul Tassie's loyalties might be type of deal. Him being also a not just a Destiny fan, but a PlayStation fan, and considering I guess PlayStation's not
Digital Foundry, it doesn't run as well on PlayStation.
So,
yeah,
man, if I see articles from him like praising Concord about like their monetization or like whatever, I'm just going crazy.
The fact that game isn't free to play astounds me. Like they had a better free to play game in that same state of play with Marvel
Rivals? The Rivals.
Like, I don't know, but yeah, this game, I honestly think if people give it a chance, this will eat Destiny's lunch. Honestly, I'm just curious to see what they continue to do as far as the future seasons and things like that. And I think they'll probably take some of the feedback from the player base as far as maybe some of the color codings and things like that. Maybe they continue to do some as Twitch drops, or maybe the things like Game Pass offers perks, much like isn't Valorant one of those games where
you get like
to pay for to unlock the characters?
I don't know. I've not
got a lot of those characters unlocked for free before Valorant.
Do you know, Pong, if Valorant has players you have to pay to unlock?
Yes, because that was part of the Game Pass deal that they set.
Oh, that's right. They give you all of them up front for being Ultimate,
yep.
right? Game Pass Ultimate,
yeah. It was like $1,000 worth of shit. So yeah.
It's like hero shooter style, right? Like kind of like Apex.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yet people want to complain about this game. But hey, we'll see. I guess the biggest thing that'll be the test of time is to see where this game is,
how
6
it
months
evolves
from now, a year from now. And I think it'll actually grow from that 250 concurrent players. If they can, tighten up the PS5 version so it can run 60 like the potato and the Series X, then maybe, just maybe, the PlayStation cats will fall in love with this game over Destiny since it's wrapping up. But we'll see. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far.
Oh yeah. And just to wrap this particular conversation up, because we could talk about this game literally the entire show. I'm just having so much fun with it, but it's definitely, and I'm glad you brought this up last. I can definitely see this game in 12 to 16 months, 12 to 18 months being completely different than it was like now. We'll look back on today and 2 days ago when it dropped and be like, wow, this game was like a completely different game than it was when we started playing it. So, which is a good thing. And it's hard to say that about a lot of free to play games nowadays. They don't even have enough meat on the bone to even warrant that kind of conversation, and this one does, which is saying a lot. You know what I mean? So definitely want to praise it for that. But let's switch lanes here, man. I want to get into something else that came out too. Shout out to Jez over there, Windows Central. We obviously talked about this last week. It's crazy how that happens, Pong and Fuzz. Sometimes we talk about things and the next week we get like the immediate answer the following week. So it's crazy, right? So speaking in the speaking in existence. But Jez put out a quick article earlier this week mentioning just specifically here, quote unquote, Crash Bandicoot Trilogy could be heading to Xbox Game Pass in August. Also, expect every month from now we'll start to see bits and pieces of ABK catalog hitting their services. We talked about this last week. So once again, people, this is that ball is starting to roll. They're starting to get comfortable. You know, they're starting to understand where these games are dropping, where they're going to put this ABK stuff at. We've been asking, obviously, since the day the deal was announced, but now we're finally starting to get some more concrete information about like what's this going to look for 2024 for the ABK stuff. So I want to ask you, Matt, first. Obviously, we've been talking about this for a while, but things are really heating up. We're getting like actual concrete information here. So where are you at on just like the new information we got?
Yeah, man, I think it's going to add to the crazy second half for Xbox, right? Like, there's already a crap ton of stuff that we have to look forward to with more first-party content than anybody else coming in the second half. But also now you're going to have these drops from ABK and stuff. And I think what Jez was saying is like maybe a couple of months at least going forward. And I think that's going to be like, I would like more right away. However, I think it's going to kind of add to that bolstering of the Game Pass lineup. That's already going to be crazy saturated with tons of content anyway. Yeah. So adding like a couple of those here and there is going to be really good. Something else in this article making a point about some of, like the family friendly games and stuff like that. Like with, you know, Crash and maybe Spyro and stuff like that. You know, it's going to add some cool shit there as well. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. One of them that was talked about was Tony Hawk, and already own that one. But for those that haven't played it yet, I'm really excited for those to get it into Game Pass, because that's a really good remake, bro. Like really well done. And overall, like the ones that were rumored to be like right away, like or sooner, besides that one, I'm not as excited about. But I'm more curious, like when the Transformers games are going to show up, when the Call of Duty games are going to show up, like, and all that kind of stuff. Because
didn't some guy associated with Transformers recently speak up about like them being it? No, wasn't that recent that he said they just got to come talk to us? Like that's it. Like
that was Hasbro.
Was that? Oh, it's Hasbro. I'm sorry.
About that they want to like do the licensing or something. I can't remember exactly what they had said, but they're willing to play ball with anybody to
it'll be Xbox at this point.
Yeah. But like they're even doing licensing for other games or other companies and stuff. There's a new racer that just got announced for Transformers like last week.
Oh, okay.
It's coming this year as well. But yeah, I think they're willing to get the license for not too much and stuff. So that could be why we saw the store listing come back up for Transformers. So I'm excited to see that one or those ones, which I don't know how many of them they'll do. But yeah, man, the big ones will be Call of Duty, obviously. Some of the past Diablo games too, if they do those. And I'm interested in what they're going to do on the PC side for the Game Pass on the PC only games. Like there's a lot of infrastructure and workings and stuff to a lot of this. Like some of the games that Blizzard has aren't on console, right?
Yeah.
So how are they going to work that with Game Pass and integrate Battle.net with PC, like all these kind of things? But yeah, all the process. I'm just ready for the process to start, man. Because the only thing we've gotten so far is Diablo 4, and we're the two things.
And we're getting Call of Duty, obviously. Call of Duty.
Two things I think are going to be happening here that we're going to see as part of all of this, like, and in addition to all the crazy first party games and third party games coming to Game Pass day one and all this kind of stuff this year, I think sooner than later, which Jez has alluded to in the past as well, we're going to get the game ownership, like your catalog, a lot of the games in your library are going to be playable through the cloud and through the Game Pass apps. But also, I think part of that is that ABK drops as well. So both of those things are going to be kind of going hand in hand throughout the rest of the year, along with the regular content that we're getting. So I'm pumped, dude. Like all in all, if you look at all of this together, Xbox is going to be completely dominating the second half of this year.
100%.
Like, and plus, also we talked about it last night. They have the marketing rights on almost all the big games. for all the third parties.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, they got like the marketing rights for all the big games for third parties. The only exception is Black Myth Wukong, right? But like Star Wars Outlaws, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Dragon Age, the Veilguard, they got marketing rights on all three of those, right? They got you have your sports games and all that kind of stuff. I don't really count those, but the other big ones that people looking forward to. Plus the Game Pass deals for Kinitsugami, Path of the Goddess.
Yep,
they have marketing rights for Metaphor. They have marketing rights for Visions of Mana. Like they just been doing deals with everybody.
Yeah,
they're in a good spot. Crazy, man.
People don't realize, man. Like you'd have to like fucking like make an Excel spreadsheet and really like post it to show people. I think people forget, like we get so lost in between, like, these games come out, information news come out. We get so lost and get caught up in things for, days, weeks at a time that we forget sometimes. Like Xbox really is in a very, very advantageous position when it comes to IPs, when it comes to like how their next like 10 to 12 months, the immediate future is like going. Things are right on track, man. And there's probably more than we actually would have assumed at this point in time in 2024 that they have ready to go. Because remember last year we were wondering like, shit, really, how is this year going to stack up? And they've already got the ball rolling on that. We're already looking to 2025 at this point, man. We already see where things are going, which is extremely impressive, especially considering, Nintendo's doing a whole brand new console, and then Sony, we do not have a roadmap for next year. We don't know what the hell Sony's doing next year. We do know they're going to have obviously the PS5 Pro, but that has nothing to do with games. So
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see and watch this next couple years is going to be really different than this last four. It's going to be really different. So I'm really excited to see all of that. But part of it is that lineup for ABK, and I'm just, it's about time for them to get that going, bro. It's taken them longer than I thought it would, for sure.
Yeah, and it's been a bit of a rough, go a little bit, right? There's been some ups and downs, but obviously it took 20 months for them to damn sign the ink, get the ink dry. Yeah. So obviously, it feels a lot longer, Matt, because all of our time was taken up just in litigation. Not even them, they couldn't even do anything for 20 months, right? So imagine had they spent half the time doing it, or it took 10 months rather than 20. We'd be much further along, right? So, I guess you can kind of look at it from that perspective too. Yep. But, Pong, where you at on this, bro? Obviously, we've been talking about this. You've been talking about the golden age. We've already got on Xbox, and like they're finally opening, they're tapping into that well that, finally they're getting things in order. The PR, obviously that's still, in limbo, but the games are there, which is the most important thing. The roadmap is there. But where you at, obviously, on this new information?
Yeah, first things first, to give correct information and true information, because I just went back and double checked the Battle Pass. You do only earn 300 total coins for the Battle Pass. You do not actually earn the total 500. I think when Steele counted it out, he included a couple of the 30 bonus coins in there,
got it.
Which is a separate currency. So that is why. So it is true that you don't quite earn enough to buy the next Battle Pass. So I just want to let everybody know that here, because I'm about correcting information. I just wanted to double check that real quick. So, anyways, as far as this goes, again, I could care less about Crash. I'm not a Crash guy, don't care. But it's cool that it sounds like we are finally going to get this. I would love to be the fly on the wall. I would love to know the real reasons why this delay happened, whether it was, technical, or whether it was contractual, or whether they were still worried about the CMA. I have no idea what the hell happened here, or why it's taking so long for these games to show up, especially the older stuff. But I am more than happy and excited that we're going to start seeing them drop in here. And if it's Crash first, great. If it's something else first, great. Obviously, Matt pointed out some of the stuff that I'm looking forward to as well. I want to be able to download Tony Hawk and have some fun. I mean, I never bought that remake, so I do want to go back and be able to play that. Stuff like that I can't wait for. Obviously, if the Transformers thing does become real, all all on board with that as well. Would love to see Marvel Ultimate Alliance license also get re-upped and have those re-drop in there again too. So I'm looking forward to it. Obviously the older Call of Duties too. I like to go back and replay some of those campaigns for sure. Some of the ones that I maybe never finished off or just never tried. So a couple of the campaigns that I missed out on. So yeah, this is exciting times. This was a big part of that purchase. Obviously, you know, we knew this was going to eventually happen. It's just taken longer than any of us thought. But the minute that they came out and said Diablo 4 is going to be in there, you know, and tripled down by Sarah Bond on that everything was coming, it had to eventually happen. Now, how they roll this out, and like I said, I'm always that dude who's going to say, give me all my presents at one time. But we know business-wise, it doesn't make any sense. So they're going to space this stuff out. I would imagine that this will probably roll into next year, maybe, even with some of the library that they have. But yeah, it's exciting times. It just adds more value to Game Pass. Again, the second half of the year is already overboard. Like we don't have enough hard drive space for the Game Pass games that are dropping in the next 6 months alone. Like that's how many are dropping between third-party deals, between the you know, actual second-party or third-party deals, however you want to call them, that they made with like Stalker 2 and stuff, and then all their first-party. We are already overfilled, and now you're gonna start dropping ABK back catalog in there. Like, are you kidding me right now? Game Pass just keeps getting better and better, man. What a great time to have this stuff start happening. This is gonna be a good Christmas for Xbox ecosystem fans. That's for damn sure. It's gonna be.
I got a little theory, some fun speculation just to
Sure.
throw out that I was thinking of while you were talking, Pong.
Yeah.
What if like the reason they could be doing a couple at a time and the reason it's taken so long is because on the older games and stuff they wanted to maybe do some of those like FPS boost or like HDR, like, you know,
Yeah.
4K upreses, that stuff like that, you know?
Maybe they went through the catalog to figure out which ones were going to work and they started that process. That could be a part of it. I said that right after the ABK. I wondered if Jason Ron was going to get the group back together and try some FPS boost and HDR and that kind of stuff. It's a good point, Mav. And if they do start showing up with those bonuses attached to them, okay, well, I'm all in.
Yeah, that makes those games really worth going through and playing again for sure. Like,
right, absolutely.
Especially those Transformers games.
That would be like super big.
4K 60, like now, you know, like with HDR and all that. Oh man, that'd be pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah. Yep. I could see that happening too, man. I didn't even consider that too, that they would. And Phil, you know, he said it, like he stated it explicitly that he, you know, there's things he's looked at already. There's games he's looked at. So I don't know if he's looked at a couple games and sat them to the side and said, we're going to pay special attention to these ones. And like, you're right, man. Maybe they've done that. Maybe they say, you know what, like this will be a nice, just a nice little morsel, right? You know, for our player base to have, knowing that we just put the extra care into this for them, right? Like maybe not all of those games, obviously, but a select few.
Yeah, it'd be nice if they do that on the PC too, like give StarCraft 2 a huge update.
Oh
just for the heck of it.
Oh yeah,
and then put it in games
just for the heck of it.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? God, we need to be in charge, Mav.
Yes, we do.
Crazy. So where you at on this fuzz?
Well, I'm figuring they're going to do drips and drabs as far as adding stuff into Game Pass, and I kind of thought when we had that downtime for Xbox Live, because like the past few times that they've had that, and they're few and far between, but typically when we have like an outage like that, we usually have some sort of major Game Pass update. So I don't know what they did or what they were doing in the background that probably broke something, but I know before, even with Diablo, there was a whole to do about like, was it BattleNet or whatever they used before as far as Activision, where some of that isn't as compatible or as smooth of a process for PC. Some people it works flawlessly. Others it's like they have to uninstall BattleNet and reinstall it, or uninstall the Xbox app on their PC and then reinstall it and then it works type of thing. But I would think some of those newer titles, or not newer titles, but some of those relistings, like we saw the relistings for some of the Transformer stuff, which hopefully they've renewed the license so these can be available again, and hopefully they can renew some of the Marvel ones as well. But yeah, I think it's coming sooner rather than later. and I think that outage was part of a test or part of the preload before whatever they're going to announce over at Gamescom. Which I'm thinking Gamescom is where we get the first flood or something as far as these
Seems
games.
appropriate. We generally get pretty decent announcements there. They don't usually we don't get groundbreaking ones generally, but we get really good ones there most of the time. So I can see them doing something like that too.
Yeah, so I'm hoping it's sooner rather than later. It'd be nice for them to fill out the Game Pass catalog for the most part. Adding those Activision games will definitely attract new subscribers to the service, along with a lot of the first party stuff that's coming out the remainder of this year. It's about time. Yeah, it's been a while, but like I said, I think the whole FTC and CMA dragging the whole Activision thing out, I think made them put some things on pause. Like there's no, I can't imagine the meetings that they had. It's like, okay, how involved would it be if we go ahead and start this and then we have to undo it because of the FTC kind of thing? And I think that was part of why they got such a late start getting all that stuff done. And I think they figured Diablo could use the injection of new players in comparison. Like it's a big title, and at that point, some of the seasonal updates weren't quite landing like the main player base had hoped. But like around that time, especially with it coming into Game Pass, I'm pretty sure that helped get their numbers back to the levels that they were expecting for around that period of time, and they're going to continue to do the same. It looks like it's easier on the newer stuff than the older stuff, and kind of like Pong touched on, it's probably Jason Ronald and crew are possibly doing some tweaking and updates to those, because Activision was probably one of those companies that they approached before, and Activision was like, nope, you can't touch our stuff. So, and that was before the whole acquisition deal. So yeah, that's even though it's been a while, but it'll be well worth the wait when we get the announcement here. Like I said, probably at Gamescom, and we'll probably have a good bit of at least the Call of Duty Black Ops, I would say, by the time Call of Duty comes to Game Pass. I think the only Call of Duty that might be a little bit of a delay would be Modern Warfare 3, just because of the previous marketing deal. It would have to, I think, be out of the 2-year window. And I think that's where that one might have to, wait a bit, almost like the way the Evil Within 2 had to, because it was in PS Plus after the Bethesda acquisition, and it had to wait like 6 months or so before it could come to Game Pass type of deal. But we'll see. But it's, I would say, right around the corner. It'll probably be in batches, and like I said, by Call of Duty time, at least all the Black Ops will be in probably Game Pass by then. So we'll see.
That's crazy. Yeah, man. It's just awesome to see, though, Fuzz, right? Finally getting some movement there. It's something that we've talked about for Xbox obviously since the announcement, right? One of the first 2 or 3 questions after, holy shit, this is actually happening, was, okay, what's up with the other stuff, right? Like the non-Call of Duty stuff, non-mobile stuff. Like, what are they doing with all of those IPs? We know Phil walked into Activision like he was coming off a 3-day fast, rubbing his hands together like, bro, I'm finna eat. I'm coming in here because I believe he even came out and said that he's already looked at a couple things. He already made some alluded to that. Like, yeah, there's some things that personally for me that I'd like to see type shit. So we'll see. And I do think, and Mav, I love the fact that you threw that out there, because I had never, ever, ever considered the possibility of them going back and doing that, like taking the time, because obviously we just want the games. Like, I don't even think anybody complained if they didn't do that. But I think it would just hit so much harder, Mav, if they did go and pick a couple, right? Like just a choice couple, and be like, you know what? We're going to throw you guys this bone and really show you guys how much, like we're taking it seriously. We're really pushing Game Pass. We really want this to be the best experience for, Xbox fans.
Well, I think they could do more than a couple, because like beforehand, it was more of like when they were doing FPS boost. I mean, they were doing third parties also. Yeah. They were just like doing them left and right. And is whoever would allow them to. Yeah, and the only reason they stopped is because they ran out of ones that were worth doing that they were allowed to do. I mean, they did like most of their first party and all the ones that were technically possible. There was
I was going to say there was some that they just could not do.
Yeah, because of the way that the frames are generated or something like that. I don't know, but like if there's, I mean, the other features, like 4K upres on the older ones, the auto HDR is already on the system, but like the FPS boost made a huge difference to a lot of games, like make them go back and be playable. So if they could do that, to some of those, I think it would add value to all of them and actually generate more excitement. So it would make sense. And something we talked about when they first acquired ABK, I brought it up like early on, is like, I wonder what eventually if they're gonna bring back the back compat team and bring back the ones that aren't actually even playable this generation, or if they're going to bring back the FPS boost and all that kind of stuff, because they have a lot more games to be able to utilize and do that with now. I mean, they acquired a company that was the same size as theirs in value, right? So like you're talking about doubling really your catalog at least. Activision goes back a long ass time, right? So like just to look back and think about what's the possibilities of what games we can
and
bring
not only
forward and all this kind of stuff. It's worth doing if you have those now.
Yeah, and not only too, and this is another thing that's underrated about the Activision situation too, and I believe Pong or Fuzz have brought this up at some point, is that not only do you inherit all of that IP, you inherited like the relationships Activision have with other companies that you didn't have.
Yeah, and remember, Activision used to be the number one like licensed game publisher, right? Like,
so all of those contracts that they had with all these other developers and these other companies that make toys and games and movies and things like that, now you instantly have those contacts.
Yeah, back in the day, like anytime there was a movie coming out, there was a shitty Activision game going along the line.
Oh, dude, how many terrible Spider-Man games did we have? Like, good Lord, go look at it. It was 3 of them coming out a year.
Yeah,
like, I remember, during the 360 days.
Yeah, they had one, and then they had a Hulk game that was those ones were pretty good. But then they started going off.
They just went crazy. They went crazy. They was letting everybody get the license, bro. Yeah. Anybody that showed up was getting the license.
Yeah, that's when Marvel was in trouble.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Let's just get the res boost and the FPS boost and the HDR for True Crime. Let's do.
Oh yeah, like dude, you could like make it so many.
I know. Oh, just give it a go. Throw it out there. Oh fuck, it'd be so good, man.
I kind of want to look at like Activision like catalog. Like
just got some stuff in there, man.
I mean, they could go and do some of the same stuff still for ZeniMax Bethesda too that they haven't done.
Sure,
could,
yeah.
If they're like, okay, well, we've made all these acquisitions, like, is it worth going back and doing some of this stuff now? I think it would be, but
yeah.
So I want to ask chat real quick before we dive into another topic here. What game do you guys want to see come back? Just what IP do you guys want to see them do that with? If they would take an IP, do all of add the new bells and whistles and the fresh coat of paint, the upres, the HDR, the FPS all that good stuff. What game would you guys want to see that with? So chat, let us know what game you guys want to see that with. So
PlayStation doesn't want to do Twisted Metal. What happens if Xbox beat him to the punch with Vigilante 8 coming back too? Oh man. Oh,
Vigilante. Man. Oh yeah.
That was yes. Can you imagine? Oh.
This proves you would just be doing shit as a CEO. You literally,
bro.
Man, Sachi would be in there every other day. Like, he did what? What did he do?
You don't want to know. I'd pull all the team. We'd have a massive Zoom. We'd fly everybody out to Redmond, right? Everybody. And I'd have a huge stadium filled with all my devs. And I would just go, I'd bring up old IP on the screen. And I'd be like, who wants to work on this? And everybody that raised their hand, I'd form a new studio underneath them. I don't care where they're coming from. That's exactly what I would do.
That's hilarious. So, but no, once again, shout out to everybody watching too. Drake, Z Black Rider, Splendiferous, all you guys, everybody showing up. Ken Sante, I saw you, brother. You can't sneak in here, brother. I saw you. Bro.
Oh, and he's shouting out True Crime New York. Let's go.
Yeah. Facts. Legacy of Kane, Soul Reaver too. Splendiferous just mentioned that too.
Yep.
Game of Blur, another game people been wanting. Tenchu, Prototype. They got a lot of IP. Yeah, go to the wiki.
Well, the Prototype remasters will be on there, which will be great.
Yeah. That'll be on there for sure.
That'll be fantastic because they did remaster those, so we'll at least get those for sure. So that's gonna be
absolutely. Yep. So I wanted this. So the next thing I want to talk about is just it's kind of we're already in the same vein that we were just talking about as well. It's really just about kind of honing in on Xbox in 2024. Obviously, we just talking about the Blizzard Activision part of that, but outside of that, like when we're looking at first party, we're looking at how is 2024 going to finish up for them. You know what I mean? I just kind of want to get everybody's. We way too early on this topic, but we're more than halfway through the year, so we're in the window. God damn it, we're in the right window to be able to start having this conversation. So Mav, chat, what's up, Sante? What's up, ATL? Where you at on this, Mav? How is Xbox finishing 2024, Mav?
With the greatest 6 months run ever seen before in gaming from a first party platform.
Okay.
Dude, look at the amount of content coming to Game Pass in this next 6 months. It's insane. You talk about first party, then you add the third party day one games in there as well, all in a subscription service. Like we've never seen this before. Talk about both going from PC and console, right? You got games like Flight Sim, you got Age of Mythology Retold, you got Aura, History Untold, Towerborn. You got Avowed, Indiana Jones, Call of Duty, Black Ops 6. And I know I'm missing one because every single time I do this, I at least skip one game because there's too many to think of off the top of your head. Then you add games like Stalker 2, like we talked about before, Kinitsugami Path of the Goddess as well, is going into Game Pass day one. Replaced, maybe dropping some point the second half of this year as well. Like, it's just going to be an absolutely crazy run of games, and then you talk about also, like I said, the other games that are kind of be synonymous with Xbox that they had the marketing for and stuff like that. But like overall, just first party wise, dude, like this is what they've been working towards, and it's already started because Hellblade 2 dropped in May, right? So Hellblade 2
the Shattered Space DLC as well.
Shattered Space. You got Vessel of Hatred going to Diablo 4. You have content for all of these other games of service games like Elder Scrolls Online just had Gold Road.
Gold Road. Yeah.
Yep. There's so much content out there, so much, bro. And you look at what the other platforms are doing, and there's not anything like this. Nothing like this.
Well, Nintendo's they're in the middle of something right now. Although I don't even know if we include them in these conversations anymore, Mav? Do you? I don't think I do anymore.
I don't know if I include handheld game companies.
Yeah, probably not.
Maybe next gen I will.
right.
There's stuff to look forward to from Nintendo, but I mean, it still pales in comparison to everything that Xbox has coming. Like you could just look at Avowed, Indiana Jones, Call of Duty, Black Ops 6, and like Flight Sim is like 4 big ones. Then you add in all the others that they're doing as well. It's just a lot of content. It's a lot of content, and it all looks really good. So I'm really excited. I think Indiana Jones is going to be surprising for people.
I do too. That game is getting every time I've gone back and watched the showcase, the footage we got a couple times, and I really do. I'm with you on that, Mav. I think the game is going to be really surprising.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. I think Call of Duty is going to be one of the most anticipated Call of Duties in years, so they have that going for them as well. I think that Avowed it's my most anticipated right now, and I think
all of a sudden, no, I'm just playing.
No, Avowed, man.
The third person, I know that helps too.
I love Western RPGs in this style. Like it gives me kind of Oblivion vibes when I see it, and that has me excited. There's so many different kinds of genres and variety. I could spend like an hour talking to you about Age of Mythology Retold and how that's one of my most anticipated games, right? Or Flight Sim, how they're adding all these jobs and all these different kinds of vehicles and all this other kind of stuff that you can do. Or Vessel of Hatred with a new character class, or how this Call of Duty is bringing back a lot of things that a lot of Call of Duty's fans wanted, but this is Treyarch's first big one in years, and this is the longest development cycle we've had on a big Call of Duty ever. There's millions of reasons to be excited about each and every single one of these games. So for me, thinking about the fact that we get all of these within like this 6-month period now, and I'm not even adding in really these third party deals going into Game Pass or whatever, like Stalker 2 and all these, like, just first party wise, it's pretty substantial. You add all these others in too. It's just I think 2024 is solidifying the vision that they've had.
Yeah.
And then going into 2025, there's no more like, well, we gotta wait, we have this little like waiting period or whatever. In 2025, we're gonna have Fable, South of Midnight. You know, like they already got some of the 2025 lineup put out there, and then now, like you talked about with the ABK stuff, adding those games into Game Pass as well, to drip feed some of those to go along with all these other content. I don't know if we've ever seen before. Like I know first party publishers have had a lot of content in short windows before, but not in a subscription like this for as little. Like, think about it, if you had to buy each one of these.
Oh, dude, thousands of dollars.
Avowed, Indiana Jones, Flight Sim,
$200 easy.
Call of Duty, like Age of Mythology Retold, Ara History Untold, which I'm excited about also. Like, that's a few $100s just right there, you know? So dude, I'm like super looking forward to it. I've been kind of waiting for this, you know, for years. This is what we've all been talking about. This is like what we've all been saying. You know, they got the games, they have games, they're making games, the studio's making games. They're about to all start dropping, right? And there's no stopping it now.
Yeah, it's inevitable, bro.
It's just gonna keep going, it's gonna keep going. And the Game Pass is going to become more synonymous as a household name for everybody. I can tell you, man, like the other platforms are paying attention to this, and they're going to see what happens here. And I think Xbox is changing the industry more than people realize.
Thanks.
With what they're going to be doing here in this next 6 months. Pay attention to the conversations that are going to be out there. It's going to be interesting.
We're going to see a lot of people. We might see a lot of heel turns. We're going to see a lot of different, and possibly some different conversations, different dialogue. So
there's going to be a lot of people that look stupid from the last couple years.
100% too. And like you said, I mean, this is what we've talked about this, man. Pong, I don't know how many times we got to say this, Pong. We've been talking about the moat. How long now? 4 years now we've been talking about this? Yep. Like, come on, man. This is, so it's just, and it's finally starting to come to fruition. Or you're starting to see the vision, right? Like, it's starting to really show itself in real life. So it's really just cool to see, because the one thing that, like, people don't understand about Xbox, they don't have to do it the same way that PlayStation does it, or the same way that Nintendo. They can't do it the way those other two do it. So they have to go this route. Like, they have to innovate in this way to continue to go about do their business. And they've kind of always done this. This is pretty standard for Xbox. They seem to be the one that generally makes the biggest leap outside of, like, maybe hardware. Nintendo, they tend to just be random and left field with what they do with that. But outside of that, Xbox usually tends to be the one that's making that big gamble, rolling the dice every generation. Well, Game Pass was this generation. The first, the OG Xbox, it was, a damn hard drive and an Ethernet port, right? And 360 was actual Xbox Live itself, right? So every time they do this, they seem to try and do something different. But Pong, like, looking at this going forward, bro, 2024, man, how are we wrapping this up? How's Xbox gonna wrap it up?
They're going to put a big old bow on it, like I said earlier, and it's going to be the best run. Like Mav said, we talked about this last night, and I pointed out that actually the next 1.5 to 2 years could be the best run we've ever seen from an individual publisher in the history of video games. That's how big Xbox is now. They are, content-wise, I'd probably say they're the world's largest publisher. Content-wise, and we're starting that avalanche, right? This is the start of the avalanche that we talked about years ago as well, that we knew eventually was going to come. The pandemic set everything behind, kind of made a log jam of a lot of games. That log jam is now freeing up, and all Xbox has is just complete games ready to rock and roll for the next, again, foreseeable future. You can almost look ahead 2.5 years and see that they have a lineup ready to rock and roll in 2026 and and obviously potentially new consoles. But to your specific question for the last 6 months, yeah, this is going to be a fantastic run because every single one of these games, whether they're for you or not, if we're just looking at totality, from what they've shown us, this is not just quantity, this is quality as well. Every single one of these games have taken a leap. Indiana Jones is looking fantastic. Avowed, the one that people had questions on, Obsidian has been doing their thing and polishing up and going back. They heard all of the talk around it, and what do? Is they come back and show it again, and everything that people talked about looks that much better. Again, I had zero questions about the game. It's been my most anticipated first-party title for a long time from Xbox for this year, but they've answered the questions that needed to be answered. I think the Avowed is going to be a great game. It's going to be a great Obsidian game to add to the collection. And then on down, again, Flight Simulator, we already know is going to be high quality. If you're into Flight Simulator, you're going to love this new Flight Simulator 2024, right? If you like RTSs, Age of Mythology is looking freaking awesome from what they took from the old game and remade it into their updated vision and actually got closer to their original vision for that game. And it looks amazing. It's probably going to be a fantastic RTS that's going to be played by millions of people. And then you've got the DLCs that everybody talked about. On top of that, for both Diablo 4 and, of course, Starfield. And we already know the talk around the new Call of Duty. Yes, it happens every freaking year, but there's a little extra buzz this year. Treyarch seems to be hitting a couple extra better notes this year than even the past couple.
Another thing, Pong, I don't think people realize how much people are underestimating how much people like the Treyarch Call of Duties. How those are my favorite Call of Duties personally. Black Ops 1 and 2 are my most played Call of Duties by far, and people forget because they've been taking 6 years to make this game how good they actually are at making Call of Duty.
And it looks like they've thought of everything. And again, not that I'm a fan of round-based zombies, but bringing back round-based zombies alone for a vast majority of the OG zombie players, that's going to bring people back in. Every game, my point is that every game, including the DLCs, is just looking like a complete polished game that is ready to rock and roll, that is going to come out and hit for a lot of people. We don't have a lot of the questions surrounding a lot of the games that, again, unfairly, in a lot of instances in the past, we just don't have that anymore. Hellblade 2, even though, again, if it wasn't for you, it's not for you, and it was never going to be a game for everybody, Ninja Theory did their thing. That game set new standards in the video game industry in a lot of different ways. And that was the start of all of this. That was the igniter for all of this. And what do? They roll after Hellblade 2 right into a showcase that people are calling one of the greatest of all time showcases.
No, it is the greatest.
We're seeing finally the vision that Xbox, what we had all those years ago, even prior to ABK, of what they could become, and they're becoming that. And again, people can disparage them, people can talk bad, negative, all they want about Xbox. But the fact is, they have collected some of the most talent anywhere in the industry, hands down. And these teams are finally getting to show what they've been working on in some instances for an extended period of time, even beyond normal dev time. So this year is going to finish with Xbox dominating all the talking points, because they're going to have basically games coming out nearly every single month from here on out. And that's not even including all the second party, third party deals, whatever you want to call them at this point, that they have in their back pockets that we were waiting for. Flintlock, Replaced, Stalker 2, all these other games that are going to be dropping into Game Pass day one as well. And then you got the ABK back catalog. Like, you can't, again, like I said earlier, it's already overfilled. We're already overfilled. The end of the year is just going to push us over the top, and then we're not getting a break folks. This is going to roll into next year. They're going to have games early next year. We're not going to have 6 months next year to begin the year where there's nothing. Xbox is going to continue to roll. We're getting one big game per quarter like Phil originally envisioned, at least. And in fact, we're probably going to have a couple quarters where there's multiple games. So buckle up, get ready. But Xbox is about to really dominate the talking space with the amount of games that they have coming out. And I believe the quality is going to match that quantity. And that is going to be an even bigger talking point for a lot of people when these games actually do hit the way that they're supposed to. But I have the utmost faith, always have, in almost all these teams, that they were going to do what they set out to do. And we're finally going to see it, and we're going to be able to play them. That's the best part. Gamers win.
Man.
We're winning, man.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And this is what I love that we're right about this, though. We're on the right side of history. We didn't panic. We did good. Boys, us four, we got to pat ourselves on the back for holding it down, fellas. You too, chat. You too. I know it was a rough ride. I know at times y'all looked at us like maybe felt like some of us were compromised, but we held it down. I appreciate y'all. Want to let everybody know, but no, for real, like the year looks phenomenal. Pong, you're right. Like this generally could be the best 1 to 2 year run or 2 year run essentially we've ever seen out of Xbox, and I don't know if people are ready. On the heels of new hardware.
On any publisher in history.
Yeah.
On any publisher in history. This is going back to the 360 era where you can look at some runs from publishers like EA, right? You had EA kicking butt with Mass Effect and all that kind of stuff, right? You had 2K.
Activision, the first 4 Call of Duties.
Yeah, Activision. But you're just looking at the amount of games that they have, the amount of IP ready over the next year and a half, 2.5 years. It is stupid. And if all of this is high quality, this could be one of the greatest runs in history from one publisher. It's ridiculous. It really is when you think about it. But this is what we knew. We knew. People trying to convince other people that all these devs and all these teams were just sitting around painting their nails and taking phone calls all day and texting and being online, and they weren't actually making anything. Well, joke's on all of you, obviously, because you guys were lying through your teeth and you knew you were. So now we're going to start seeing it, and now we're going to be playing it. So, ready.
Facts. Fuzz, get in on this, brother. Obviously, it's already been the last 2 years, 3 years really has been really good. Xbox has been trending in the right direction, even including the missteps along the way, the Redfalls and the you know what I mean? All these different things along the way. But by and large, every year has gotten better, man. Every year, the roadmap's gotten a little bit more clear. The messaging's gotten a little bit more clear. You know what I mean? Every conference, every showcase has gotten better. The developer directs have gotten better, more creative. So things are going the right direction. So how do you think they're going to end the year?
They're going to end the year strong. And then, like Pong said, they're going to go into next year even stronger kind of thing. I don't think we're going to have a light first half next go around, but as far as finishing this year off, I think this is going to be the start of many people's new backlog. Like if they didn't have a backlog already, they will before the end of this year, just with Game Pass itself, just with first party, even not even including a lot of the third party, which we still got, Stalker 2. We still got Flintlock coming. We still got Path of the Goddess. There's a ton of things that are coming to Game Pass before this year is out, between first party and third party. Maybe a couple of indies drop in before the year is out. Like Replaced is more than likely going to, finish off the year, as well as Towerborn's probably going to be another one of those that makes it before the end of the year, and then we'll see if Contraband's ready for the beginning of the next year. But yeah, as far as the flood's already started, and I guess we now see what Matt Booty was talking about as far as figuring out where to fit these games and whatnot within the timeline as far as when to release them. Try not to have it where one cannibalizes another, but with Game Pass, it's not really, I guess, a factor in that regard, because there's going to be something that appeals to everyone as far as within the subscription. And it's also going to, hopefully bring in more subscribers for them to, get their numbers up rolling into the new year. But Call of Duty is still, I don't think we've felt the full effects of Call of Duty being in Game Pass day and date. I think once that drops, that's going to put a stamp on it as far as Game Pass moving forward. But even outside of Game Pass, even outside of Xbox, there's still a ton of stuff that's on my want to play list. Like, was it Ubisoft with not only Star Wars but also Assassin's Creed before the year is out. So it's going to be a big year, and Xbox is pretty much leading the pack as far as a publisher when it comes to the number of titles that they're going to be releasing under their umbrella. Um, but Avowed is huge for me for this year. Indiana Jones is another one that's up there, but even some of their DLC or expansions, whether it's the Vessel of Hatred for Diablo 4 or even Shattered Space, those are two DLCs that I will be spending time in. More than likely, more so with Shattered Space. I guess the House of Varun is going to be part of the focal point with that, and even if it's just on one planet, as rumors are circulating right now about it, having it where it's a handcrafted experience on one planet with a tight storyline to it is Bethesda getting back to their old bag of tricks kind of thing, as far as that's concerned. But yeah, this is going to be a packed last half of the year. And I got to figure out how I'm going to navigate my backlog that I have currently, and what games I'll be continuing to play, and what games I'll sit down or set aside when other ones come out. Like, I'm loving the First Descendant now, but when that expansion comes out for Starfield, and when the expansion comes out for Diablo, First Descendant might have to get put to the side at least temporarily. But it's going to be a pretty stacked second half of this year, and I still have a gut feeling at Gamescom we're going to have a surprise or two, whether that's replaced being announced with a release date, or I expect at least one surprise from that showcase, and possibly even hardware, which I'm in need of a what do you call it? I was about to call it a dual sense. My Elite Series 2 is starting to wear a bit, so an Elite Series 3 would be perfect timing. Come Gamescom. But good year to a good way to end off the year for Xbox, and probably have a very strong 2025, and then all bets are off when next gen.
I know, man.
I guess if that becomes a thing, kind of like what we suspect, with 2026 being their jump off point. I don't know if we're even prepared for that. Like, the way things are now, we're living good, but I think it will be even better by that point with the launch lineup. Yeah, some of them will be cross-gen, so if we stay on these series consoles a bit, we'll still be able to play at least the first few launch games. But man, it's really starting to stack up. That's all I got.
Okay. All right. Well, I do want to get to a couple quick super chats. Shout out to Splendiferous for the $2 super chat. He said, "Panel, do you think Sony will continue copying Xbox?" That is a funny proposition there, right? I mean, they all kind of look at each other, right? I think we can all agree on that in one way, shape, or form. So there's a bit of copying going on, but you never know. Sony can't replicate what Xbox is currently doing. That's the beauty of it. They can't really do that. So, like I said, they don't all do the same things to find their success on their path to success, which is awesome. That's why I enjoy how this all works. And it's cool that we do have three different companies that do three different things. So, and the next $2 super chat, another Splendiferous. He said, "Even though you can't copy money, how will they copy them?" So I don't know, brother. I don't know. They're gonna try though. They're gonna try. And then last
they're
one,
gonna have those broken up games where Spider-Man 3 will be like 3 parts or something like that. So it's like, hey, we got 3 games. Well, it's 3 sections of one game, but it'll feel like 3 games, I guess. The way they do it. That's
they can pull the God of War and just add something on the end of it.
God of War
Throw
part
something
1,
on the end.
2, 3.
Yeah, right. But either way, man, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here, chat. You guys have been fucking amazing. Shout out to everybody who's come out, showed love, the super chats, the memberships, things like that. You guys are awesome. Shout out to all of you guys. But before we get out of here, let me go ahead and go around the panel. Make sure we give our outros real quick. And first and foremost, our guest, Mav. It's always fun to have you in here, brother. I knew this week was going to be good. I was excited about the First Descendant and all the topics, brother. But let everybody know where they can find you, Mav.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me again. You rock. And this is always one of my favorite places to be here on a Saturday. But yeah, if you guys want to check out what we got going on, just go to YouTube, Fun Speculation, and we got multiple shows. Mondays, FSP, Thursdays, PM in the PM, and Fridays, Xbox Ultimate Podcast. And yeah, we should, for the first time in a while, have all 3 shows next week.
Awesome,
So,
bro.
Looking forward to it.
Awesome, man. Shout out to everybody who came out watching live too. And once again, go show Mav some love. You guys know we're all a big family. I'm sure most of you guys already know, but if you have not and are just hearing of Mav, Fun Speculation, all that information is below. Go check him out. We're gonna be one of the best things you do, I promise. So I don't make bad recommendations. So holla at your boy. Go check Mav out. But once again, Mav, you my brother. I love you. You're like a cousin. Appreciate you coming through every single time, man. You're one of my favorite people to have on the show, bar none, brother. So thank you for stopping in and blessing us this week, man, for sure. And I got to get back on FSP at some point. I'll make some time to get on one of your shows.
You got the pass, bro. Anytime you're free, any night. Appreciate
it, man. I definitely probably Mondays too, man, because I'm off Mondays now, so I probably could do it Monday. Yeah, I'm off Mondays now, so that might we'll talk.
Hey. Gonna make you commit to it if you.
I know, right? I want to do that on. I want to do that on live air. They're gonna have receipts, and I can't.
That's great.
I know, but for real, we gonna make it happen. But appreciate you coming through. Shout out Caitlin, everybody. Psycho was here. Jasper, 3-Bit, everybody, man. Whole FSP fan, man. Appreciate you. Then my co-host, man. These 2 awesome gentlemen, my brothers in real life, Mr. Pong Soul, brother. Another great show. Got that first Descendant. I got it out, bro. I finally got to talk about it, man. I feel like I've been holding it for a while, but man, it's such a great show, brother. Glad to have you every week. Privileged for you to be a part of the show, but let everybody know where they can find you.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic to be here and end my Saturday night with you guys as we usually do, and it's great to be back after a couple weeks off with you guys too, last week and now this week. So it feels good. Feels great, and hats off to you, PTK, and everybody who because you might not have been on a podcast talking about First Descendant, but you've been sharing. And you've been sharing it out on X, man, and that's important, man. Yeah. Again, with all the negativity these days and everybody who wants to complain about certain things that happen, it's not just about the First Descendant, it's about any time. You guys know I've talked about this. The way to battle it is to share out and actually express joy for what you are enjoying, to fight all those people who seem to not find any joy in their life whatsoever, or at least never share it if they do. So you're fighting the good fight along with a lot of us that are playing games, enjoying games. We don't just talk about them, and we show everybody that we are and want everybody else to know that this is something cool and you might want to check it out. So shout out to you, PTK, for doing that.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you.
It's been fantastic to see. But yeah, no, what a great show. Chat, thank you for all showing up. Again, it's a holiday weekend. A lot of people got a lot of stuff going on. Shows have been light. News was light this week, and yet we still had really good crowds showing up to all the shows. So thank you all for giving us your time. The most precious, valuable thing that you have in the world, you give to us on a weekly basis, not just a show, but everywhere else. So all love and respect to you all. And of course, brother from another Mav, got to do another show with him because we've had a couple weeks off of PM in the PM. So it's fantastic to hear his voice, and he's been secretly playing the First Descendant. So I haven't played with him yet. So we're gonna have to try to correct that as well.
Friends list right now?
No.
Okay.
I'm just talking in general. I didn't even know you had downloaded, and all of a sudden you're like, well, I've been playing like at 3 a.m. in the morning, all these secret hours, like when nobody else is. So we're gonna have to rectify that. But it was great to talk to you again, of course, Mav. And thanks for being here, brother. Otherwise, you guys know how to find me, Pongso on X, formerly known as Twitter, Pongso on the Xbox, Pongso on Steam, Epic, GOG, wherever. Find me, I'll find you back. Otherwise, next week, you know the drill. All Good Things Green happens on Tuesday on the Xbox Factor podcast on Tuesdays. Mr. Boomstick is the man. Double Barrel Gaming is the channel. The times are 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time. Be there for that. My week starts with Mav, and looks like we're going to actually have a show this week. So PM in the PM, Thursday night, Fun Speculation Network. That's right, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Central Time, me and Mav. Hopefully we'll have some news. We're after the holidays. Hopefully things will kick up again. Thursdays are usually a hot spot for some news. Maybe it'll happen again this week, and we'll have lots to talk about. But no matter what, Mav and I will be there gabbing it with the chat, so be there for us. And then, of course, Friday nights, it's back on the Fun Speculation Network for Xbox Ultimate. Never know how many people are going to show up. Me, Mav, and Fuzzy last night, but we past couple weeks, we've had 3-Bit show up. We've had Jasper somehow get out of space and show up and talk to us as well. We've had Psychonauts jump in. So you just never know how many of the family are going to be there, but we're going to have a good time no matter what. 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time, Friday nights, Xbox Ultimate. And then, of course, Saturday mornings, living split screen. Myself and my brother from another Steel Rain get live, raw, and uncut. We had another nice 4-hour show, even though Steel had just gotten off work, rolls in, gets into the podcast mode, and starts to really drain because he's getting ready for bed because he's working overnights now. But he was there. We were rocking and rolling again. Over 2-hour conversation on the first Descendant. You're not going to get that from too many other shows. That's what we do. That's what we do there. So check us out. Living Split Screen every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time. Split Screen is all one word. Listen, y'all, it's the golden age of gaming. No better time ever to be in this hobby, no matter where you are in this hobby. You have a billion, trillion different things that you can go log into and play right now. Please, if it's not the first Descendant, let it be one of those other billion, trillion things. Get out there, have some fun, play what you love what you play, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. PTK, get us out of here, brother.
Appreciate you, brother, man. Go find Pong on the interwebs, man. Go follow him. You want to keep up with everything he has going on. That man is a busy guy. He's all over the place, bunch of shows, bunch of energy, but we love it. So shout out to you, Pong, for being here. Like I said, it's privilege, man, every single week to do this podcast with you, brother. So thank you so much. The battery of the Shop podcast. So the last but not least, the smooth one, Mr. Fuzzy Belvedere. Another great show, bro. Like Pong said, a light week, but we make it work, man. You know, there's really almost no such thing as a light week for us really here at the shop, but we make it work either way, brother. But man, let everybody know where they can find you, Fuzz.
As always enjoy being on here with you and Pong, and always appreciate when we have Mav on here as well. Definitely going to be hopping on the first Descendant after this show. Probably grab something to eat and drink right afterwards, but got it downloaded on my PS5 and getting it downloaded on the PC now, so I can play it anywhere and everywhere. So, but man, awesome show. Always love doing this. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Greatly appreciate you guys coming out. Don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. And for those that want to hear my rambles and rants on anything gaming related, just follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Fuzzy_Belvedere. You can also find me on Pixelated Echoes tomorrow at 8 p.m. with 3-Bit. Just do a search on YouTube for Pixelated Echo. And then you can find me on Xbox Lunch Break Special first thing on Monday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time on Double Barrel Gaming's channel, and on Mr. Boomstick's channel, Double Barrel Gaming. And then later that evening, FSP at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Fun Speculations channel. And then hope to see you guys all here, same time, same channel, next Saturday at 10 p.m. right here for the Shop Podcast. Look forward to seeing you then.
Man, shout out to you, Fuzz, man. Once again, like I said, another great show. Shout out to you for coming through, man. The elder statesman here at the Shop Podcast, but smooth as ever, like a good cognac, you know. But we appreciate you here, Fuzz. And once again, chat, you guys go follow Mr. Fuzzy Belvedere, all of his ramblings and Forza stuff and everything he has going on. Easiest way to keep up with him is by following the socials, man. But yeah, man, we out of here, man, and go follow me, PTK Blam, the host here, Shop Podcast. I almost forgot about myself. Yeah, check me out, man. Once again, on all the socials. You guys got any guests you want to see on the show? I'm always up for ideas, so DMs are always open as well. So follow me there as well. But we'll see you guys next week, man. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Please be safe. Yeah, see you guys next week. Peace out, everybody.
Bye.